If you like the story, you can support the author on Patreon. Link is in the description.
Chapter 1. People are in the kingdom of Whirlpool and have just been exterminated. Whirlpool equals Uzumaki. Watermelon Pufferfish Mountain Ghost equals Fugyuki Sukazan. Not country or kingdom, this village. The wrong person's name was edited in chapter 18 onwards. Unfortunately, there are still many names that haven't been edited because I was confused. Unlike those of you who started reading, I've read this story, so sometimes I forget the names of the characters and I feel bored if I have to reread it. 1 Day 3 Chapter X1 Day 2 Chapter starts in chapter 57, 20 May. Name Su, Kyun, Virtual, Void equals Hollow. Ilford Grands equals Yford Grands. Suifeng equals Swafon. Black Hoi Leia equals Regakuro Suki. The Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish Ghost equals Fugyuki Sukazan. Nyan Men equals Kuratsuka Nimyu. Technique Zuken Kaizei equals Zanjutsu. Muji Ninjutsu, Hollow equals Kido. Add in the comments if there are more. _ Ninja World. The second ninja war is about to begin. Konoha, Rock Shinobi, Sand Shinobi. The three major ninja villages regard the Rain Village as the battlefield, and the three ninja forces face off from a distance. It seems that war will break out at any moment. But none of the three great ninja villages want to be the first to move, creating a stalemate. The ninja world falls into a strange calm. But at this moment, a piece of news shatters this calm like a bomb. The kingdom of Whirlpool, Konoha's ally since its founding, has been destroyed. This news spreads like poison, frantically spreading throughout the ninja world. Some are shocked, some remain calm, but most are confused. The kingdom of Whirlpool was destroyed too quickly, too suddenly. With Konoha as an ally, it doesn't make sense. As long as Konoha could provide support, it would be impossible to destroy the village. Moreover, after the destruction of the kingdom of Whirlpool, why was Konoha's reaction so calm? Doubts lingered in their minds, but they had no way of knowing why. Whirlpool Village, Uzumaki Clan. Under the ruins of the ancestral hall. A hand covered in mud and blood reached out from under the blue stones. Soon, a red-haired boy crawled out from the debris. The boy's face was covered in blood, his features indistinguishable. He stood up with great effort and looked at the situation in front of him, feeling a suffocating pain in his heart. Shattered corpses, ruined buildings, and blood-soaked ground. The corpses were his people, the buildings were his village, and the land was his home. He is Uzumaki Chihiro, a young man from the kingdom of Whirlpool. He is also a time traveler, but due to the mysteries of the womb, memories of his past life were buried deep in his mind. If it weren't for this major upheaval, Uzumaki Chihiro wouldn't have known whether he would awaken the memories of his previous life in this one. However, even if the memories of his past life awakened, it was already too late. Memories of the past flashed through Uzumaki Chihiro's mind, faces of clan members fallen in pools of blood. And his father's advice in this life. Chihiro, go to the shrine, wear the Shinigami mask, and leave the kingdom of Whirlpool. As long as the Shinigami mask remains, our village will never be destroyed. The Shinigami mask. Uzumaki Chihiro raised his hand, his eyes calm, as he looked silently at the Shinigami mask. Even during the collapse of the ancestral hall, he still held the mask tightly in his hand before awakening his memories. Just because of his father's words, he believed that this mask could save the kingdom of Whirlpool and the Uzumaki clan. Of course, it might also be the reason why the Uzumaki family believed in the Shinigami mask for centuries. The Uzumaki clan always felt that this mask hid great power. They weren't wrong. But Uzumaki Chihiro, who awakened memories from his past life, understood that even though this mask hid a special power, that power could only communicate with the Shinigami. This mask couldn't save the kingdom of Whirlpool and the Uzumaki clan. Only the Uzumaki family could save the kingdom of Whirlpool. Even Konoha, the one they trusted the most, didn't provide help when the Uzumaki clan asked for assistance. Even the first Hokage's wife, Uzumaki Mito, a former princess of the Uzumaki clan, remained indifferent to the kingdom of Whirlpool's plea for help. The right thing was to have strength in your own hands. But all of that was something to consider later. Now, Uzumaki Chihiro still had to find a way to leave the kingdom of Whirlpool. Although it had been 3 days since the destruction of the kingdom of Whirlpool, most ninjas had left, but a few remained, searching for all resources and spoils. In Uzumaki Chihiro's inner perception, a small group of ninjas was approaching him. If this crisis couldn't be avoided, not to mention the revival of the Uzumaki clan, even the Uzumaki bloodline might not be continued. Judging by the amount of chakra, one special genin, the rest are 3 genin. Uzumaki Chihiro moved his arm, and a tingling sensation shot into his brain. I can endure some injuries to my body. However, the Uzumaki clan isn't good at combat ninjutsu, and most of their techniques are non-lethal sealing techniques. He wasn't confident he could kill that ninja team. If instant killing couldn't be guaranteed, the fighting movements would attract the attention of other ninja teams. Once surrounded, death would be inevitable. Run? There were ninjas searching around, and even if he ran, he would be found. Now, he seemed to be at a dead end. Uzumaki Chihiro looked at the sky. The sky covered with dark clouds mirrored his gloomy mood. You will disgrace the ranks of time travelers. Ding! A clear reminder sounded in his mind, clearing the fog in his thoughts. Alert! Host's memories have awakened, the divine level explosion system has been activated. Unit card pool is being drawn. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have opened the Shinigami series unit card pool. It seems he didn't have to die? Uzumaki Chihiro closed his eyes and quickly understood the system's functions. The divine level explosion system, as its name suggests, is an explosion system. But the explosive soldiers don't just explode. The first thing is to open the unit card pool. Only when the unit card pool is opened can you recruit units. And you can only recruit units from the series that has been opened. For example, now that he has only opened the Shinigami series unit, he can only recruit characters from the Shinigami world. In addition, recruiting troops also requires reputation points or recruitment tools. Recruitment can only be done by consuming reputation points and recruitment tools. With a reputation of 100 to 999, you can recruit ordinary soldiers. With a reputation of 1000 to 9999, you can recruit high-level troops. With a reputation of 10,000 to 99,999, you can recruit elite troops. 100,000 to 1 million reputation points can recruit hero troops. Recruitment tools are divided into 4 levels, ordinary, high-level, elite, and hero, corresponding to the 4 levels of troops. After understanding the system mechanism, Uzumaki Chihiro opened the system panel. Host, Uzumaki Chihiro. Identity, Daimyo of Kingdom of Whirlpool, Uzumaki Clan. Strength, Special Genin. Abilities, Chakra Purification Technique, Sealing Technique, Grandmaster. Sphere of Influence, Whirlpool Village. Hero Troops, none. Elite Troops, none. High-level Troops, none. Ordinary Troops, none. Opened Unit Card Pool, Shinigami Series. Reputation Value, 31,356. The identity column is the name of the Whirlpool Village. It seems that after his father's death in this life, he automatically inherited the status of daimyo of the Whirlpool Village. Unfortunately, his daimyo status now only exists in name. After all, the Whirlpool Village no longer exists, so there is no daimyo title left. Uzumaki Chihiro continued to look down. Special Genin Strength. If we only talk about the amount of chakra, he is not far from the cage level, but because he hasn't mastered advanced lethal ninjutsu. The weakness of only knowing sealing techniques limits his power to the special Genin stage. Then there's the reputation value. The large number 31,356 caught his eyes. If it was his own reputation value, it shouldn't be this high. Although he is a young man from the Whirlpool Village, he is not famous in the ninja world. System, is this reputation value mine or the Whirlpool Village's? Ding! It is detected that the host is the name of the Whirlpool Village and is closely tied to the Whirlpool Village. This is the combined reputation of the Whirlpool Village and the host. Sure enough. After looking at the reputation value one last time, Uzumaki Chihiro said, System, spend all the reputation value and recruit elite troops. Chapter 2, 10 times the critical hit, the heroic soldier Ichimaru Jin. System, consume all reputation points and recruit elite troops. Uzumaki Chihiro didn't consider recruiting hero troops or saving reputation points. Quickly recruiting someone strong was the priority. The most important thing was to survive the crisis at hand. He was even a little worried whether the elite troops would be strong enough to solve the problem. After all, most of the ninjas who attacked the village of Whirlpools had retreated, but according to his perception through the inner eye, there were still 4 ninja teams searching for resources in the village of Whirlpools. Moreover, he didn't know how the elite troops compared to the ninja world. Just recruit an elite unit directly. Ding! The system has detected that the host is recruiting troops for the first time, and you will receive a 10-fold critical hit as a beginner. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully recruiting the hero unit, Gotei 13 Division 3 Captain, Ichimaru Jin. Uzumaki Chihiro's eyes suddenly lit up. 10-fold critical hit. Hero troops. Ichimaru Jin. Every keyword was a surprise for Uzumaki Chihiro. Even the cold mechanical sound of the system sounded pleasant to his ears. The next moment, a giant door suddenly appeared in the space in front of Uzumaki Chihiro. The giant door slowly opened. A tall and thin figure walked out of the door. He had short silver hair, squinting eyes, and always smiled. On the outside, he wore a sleeveless white haori embroidered with the number of the 3rd Division. Inside, he wore a standard black Death Tyrant outfit, with a sword at his waist. The giant door quickly disappeared, and Uzumaki Chihiro paid attention. It felt like crossing a boundary. This was quite consistent with the way Shinigami appear. Ichimaru Jin, captain of Gotei 13 Division 3, greets the Soul King. Ichimaru Jin's voice brought Uzumaki Chihiro back from his thoughts. Looking at Ichimaru Jin kneeling, Uzumaki Chihiro was thoughtful. It turns out that the system has set him as the Soul King. But, does he, the Soul King, look a bit embarrassed? His face was grey, and his body was stained with blood. Uzumaki Chihiro asked the system in his mind, "System, will the troops I recruit betray me?" Ding! All soldiers recruited by the host will be 100% loyal to the host and will never betray. Uzumaki Chihiro felt much more relieved now. At the same time, he also had a clearer understanding of the military service levels. Gotei 13 captain level characters are the hero soldiers. Then the vice captain should be the next level elite soldier. Starting with a captain level figure, Uzumaki Chihiro was relieved. After all, he is one of the most powerful people in the Shinigami world. Although he is not without rivals in the ninja world, he is guaranteed to have the strength to compete with cage level. Tap tap tap. A burst of chaotic footsteps rushed into Uzumaki Chihiro's ears from far away. Captain Kiriki, 2 survivors were found here. Soon, a Chunin discovered Uzumaki Chihiro and Ichimaru Jin. The ninja named Kiriki glanced at Uzumaki Chihiro indifferently and said coldly, "Kill the remnants of the Uzumaki clan." Yes. 3 Chunin swarmed forward, holding kunao, and surrounded Uzumaki Chihiro and Ichimaru Jin. Their expressions were solemn, not daring to be careless at all. Although the village of whirlpools had been destroyed, the Uzumaki clan's counterattack still left a deep impression on them. They feared that due to their carelessness, they would go to see the Sage of 6 Paths in the next second. Uzumaki Chihiro's expression was calm, his lips moved, and he uttered a cold word. "Jin, deal with them." "Yes, Lord Soul King." As soon as Ichimaru Jin finished speaking, Shunpo appeared in front of them the next second. The speed was so fast that their eyes were dazzled, and a tall and thin figure with a strong sense of oppression enveloped them. Ichimaru Jin smiled and didn't waste words on them. He drew his sword and slashed their throats. The movements were clean and crisp. The Chunin in front of him didn't even have time to form a substitute, and his head was already missing. Ichimaru Jin narrowed his eyes and smiled, "First one, done." Turning to look at the other 2, their figures flashed twice in succession, and 2 blood flowers exploded in the air. What a quick body flicker technique! Kiriki's pupils shrank sharply, and his heartbeat suddenly accelerated. How could there be such a character in the village of whirlpools? Aren't they all dead? Kiriki suddenly regretted taking on this task of searching for the heritage of the village of whirlpools. He thought it was a good job, but he met such a murderous god. "Next, it's your turn." Ichimaru Jin slowly turned his head and stared at Kiriki with narrowed eyes. Gulp. Kiriki couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva, and his whole body felt like it was falling into an ice cave. Suddenly, he felt like he was being strangled by a snake. He will die, he will die, he will die. The instinct of fear drove him to use the body flicker technique to distance himself. The suffocating feeling of being targeted disappeared, and he breathed a sigh of relief. Unconsciously, his back was soaked with cold sweat. Invincible. Kiriki made an instant decision. But Ichimaru Jin's extremely fast teleportation made him understand that his escape speed was not as fast as Ichimaru Jin's. Years of combat experience allowed him to make an immediate judgment. He quickly made gestures with both hands. Water style, Water Dragon Bullet Technique. The 3-meter-long water dragon condensed out of thin air and swooped down towards Ichimaru Jin. Kiriki turned around and ran away without expecting the water dragon bullet to work. He just hoped that the water dragon bullet could delay his escape for a few seconds. "Do you think you can escape?" The gentle voice seemed to carry the teeth of a lion, making Kiriki's hair stand on end. His animal instinct made him feel a fatal threat. "Shoot to kill, shins." Shishi. White light pierced the air, and Kiriki lowered his head, a white blade penetrating him from behind. He didn't feel the pain until seconds later. When shins was retracted by Ichimaru Jin, and Kiriki fell from the air, his eyes wide open, refusing to close. Bang bang bang. Uzumaki Chihiro clapped his hands and praised, "Jin, good job." In less than a minute, 3 Chunin and 1 special Jainin were taken care of. At this speed, even Cage level might not be as good as Ichimaru Jin. Of course, this does not mean that Ichimaru Jin is a level stronger than Cage. In addition to the fact that the 3 Chunin were indeed weak, Ichimaru Jin's attack methods also contributed to the quick resolution of the battle. Uzumaki Chihiro focused on the short blade in Ichimaru Jin's hand. Zanpakut, shins. Zanpakut can freely extend and contract after Shikai, changing its length, and extend and contract extremely quickly. This kind of unexpected attack method, if there is no intelligence, even if a Cage arrives, there will be a few holes left in the body. Not to mention, Bankai. Ichimaru Jin turned around, calmed his snake-like expression, lowered his head, and said, "Thank you, Lord Soul King, for your compliment." After praising Jin, Uzumaki Chihiro turned his attention to the system panel. Besides the additional name of Ichimaru Jin on the hero unit list, there was also a change in the reputation points that should have been reduced to 0. Chapter 3, Elite Soldiers, Rukia Kukaki. Host, Uzumaki Chihiro. Identity, Daimyo of the country of Whirlpool, Uzumaki clan. Strength, Jainin. Sphere of influence, Kingdom of Whirlpool. Chakra, 101 cards. Ryutsu, Chief Officer level. Ability, Chakra Refining Technique, Sealing Technique, Grandmaster, Kendo, Elementary, White Hits, Elementary, Kid, Elementary, Shunpo, Intermediate. Hero Class, Ichimaru Jin. Elite Units, none. Advanced Arms, none. Common Arms, none. Unlocked Troop Card Pool, Shinigami Series. Reputation Value, 1265. Uzumaki Chihiro opened the system again, and there were many changes on the panel. Not only is there one more Ryutsu on the panel, but there are also many more skills that Uzumaki Chihiro has not practiced in the ability column. After recruiting Ichimaru Jin, Uzumaki Chihiro has clearly felt that his body has an energy that is completely different from chakra. And there are many more experiences in practicing Zhanchuangizu in his mind. I don't know Zhanchuangizu. By asking the system, Uzumaki Chihiro learned about another function of the system. After he successfully recruits a soldier, the soldier character will randomly give him some of the abilities of the soldier. Of course, this feedback is not outrageous. Even for heroic units like Ichimaru Jin, Uzumaki Chihiro only got a small part of Ryutsu and the basic Zuken Kaizei. Zuken Kaizei? But a little adds up to a lot. Now that the system has been awakened, it is naturally impossible for Uzumaki Chihiro to recruit an Ichimaru Jin. When more soldiers are recruited in the future, he will naturally become stronger and stronger. Of course, the system also gives suggestions in a very user-friendly manner. If Uzumaki Chihiro really can't wait, he can also solidify the abilities of the military character onto himself by consuming reputation points. Hearing this news, Uzumaki Chihiro's heart skipped a beat, and then he gave up the idea after seeing the sky-high reputation abilities of Ichimaru Jin. Make bricks without straw. The reputation value he just obtained of 1256 cannot afford to spend money. But he didn't mean to save anything. He decided to use these reputation points to recruit ordinary soldiers. Ichimaru Jin is a squad leader after all, so he can't be just a mere commander. Moreover, rebuilding the Kingdom of Whirlpool also requires manpower, and some people have to do some trivial things. In addition, he also wanted to see where the strength of ordinary arms was. So, system, consume all reputation points and recruit 12 ordinary soldiers. Ding! Congratulations to host, successfully recruited ordinary soldiers, 12 members of the 3rd Division. Uzumaki Chihiro felt a buzz in front of his eyes, and 12 figures stood in front of him. See Lord Soul King. * 12. Uzumaki Chihiro. The debut of the hero class is when the gate through the world opens, and the golden figure steps out from it. If you switch to an ordinary soldier, it's just a mediocre flash of white light. Uzumaki Chihiro smacked his lips, feeling that this system was really realistic enough. After looking at them for a while, he found that there were no familiar faces, so Uzumaki Chihiro didn't pay much attention. Through the feedback I just received from Ichimaru Jin, I felt their strength and compared it with chakra. Uzumaki Chihiro commented. Although it is an ordinary soldier, it is still stronger than genin in the ninja world. Uzumaki Chihiro is already very satisfied with recruiting soldiers of this quality at this price. It would be nice if the reputation value was a little more. In this way, you can recruit high-level units and elite units and take a look. Suddenly, Uzumaki Chihiro's peripheral vision glanced at the Shinigami mask he had been carrying, and a trace of surprise flashed in his eyes. Elite recruitment item Shinigami mask, enables the recruitment of elite troops. This is... Uzumaki Chihiro was surprised, recruiting props. He remembered that the system mentioned that in addition to reputation points, troops could also be recruited through different levels of recruitment props. But I didn't expect to encounter it so soon. And it's the Shinigami mask that he always carries in his hand. Elite level. Just a mask that can communicate with Shinigami has reached the elite level. If Shinigami is inserted into the system. Yes. I must invite that Shinigami to the land of Whirlpool if I have the opportunity in the future. Let him experience the hospitality and customs of the country of Whirlpool. As for whether Shinigami will come. Having been worshipped by the Uzumaki clan for so long, it's impossible that they wouldn't even agree to such a small request from a believer, right? Then here comes the problem. As a long-standing belief of the Uzumaki clan. Should we use Shinigami masks to recruit elite troops? System, consume Shinigami masks and recruit elite troops. Uzumaki Chihiro didn't even hesitate for a second and threw the Shinigami mask into the lottery pool. Having been worshipped by the Uzumaki clan for so long, it's time to repay the favor. Ding! Congratulations to host for successfully recruiting an elite unit, the Deputy Captain of Division 13, Rukia Kokaki. Uzumaki Chihiro's eyes lit up. Withdrawal of money. The ground in front of him suddenly flashed with purple light, and the petite figure was looming. When the purple light dissipated, this beautiful girl with short black hair and purple eyes stood quietly. When she saw Uzumaki Chihiro, she immediately knelt down on one knee and said crisply, Vice Captain of the 13th Division, Rukia Kokaki, please meet the Soul King. Uzumaki Chihiro waved his hand and motioned for her to get up. I am very satisfied with the card I drew. Although Rukia Kokaki was an elite soldier during her time as deputy captain, Uzumaki Chihiro knew that she had the potential to become a captain. This is equivalent to him drawing a heroic unit in the elite pool, which makes him feel happy. Of course, potential also takes time to be realized. At present, Rukia Kokaki is indeed only an elite unit. I felt the aura exuded by Rukia Kokaki. Uzumaki Chihiro mused. Elite troops equals elite genin? Maybe. After all, if you use reputation points to recruit Rukia Kokaki, the probability is close to 100,000. Uzumaki Chihiro didn't dwell too much on this matter. After feeling a little more Ryutsuo and Ghost Sword experience in his body, he said, Silver, go clean up the bugs in the country of Whirlpool. Now that it has been decided to rebuild the Kingdom of Whirlpool, the enemies still in the Kingdom of Whirlpool must be cleaned up. And Uzumaki Chihiro is also looking forward to how much reputation they can bring him. Ichimaru-jin nodded slightly and said, Yes, Lord Soul King. As soon as he finished speaking, bunches of white bandages appeared out of thin air, and the moment they surrounded him, Ichimaru-jin also disappeared. Thousands of anti-white snakes. The name of this move flashed in Uzumaki Chihiro's mind. This is a kid that can teleport. If you have the chance in the future, you can learn it. Then he looked at Rukia Kokaki and others and said, You can go too. Yes. The rest of the people also disappeared. But the method is not as cool as Ichimaru-jin. Uzumaki Chihiro stood alone on the ruins of the Uzumaki clan's ancestral hall. Not worried about his own safety. In addition to his strength, it is also because the soldiers recruited through the system will be forcibly teleported to him when he is in danger. So he wasn't worried that he would be in danger. Chapter 4, 7 People with Ninja Swords, Double Swords. Ichimaru Jin etal are very efficient. Although he and Rukia Kukiki have not communicated, they have a clear division of labor between them. Rukia Kukiki led 12 team members to eliminate some miscellaneous fish ninjas in the country of Whirlpool. Ichimaru Jin rushed towards the coast of Uzumaki country. In his Ryutsu perception, there is a character there who can barely take action. The coast of the country of Whirlpools. Sato Hyukiera, one of the 7 Kirigakure ninja swordsmen and the master of the twin swords, Kyuzu, sat on the reef and looked at the sea. He looked impatient. Too slow. I don't know what resources are available in a small country like the Whirlpool country. He also needs to be sent here to garrison. It's so boring. It's all because the kingdom of Whirlpool was too weak and was defeated so easily. His double swords are not yet ready for cutting. Please hurry up and let me chop someone. Tap tap tap. Suddenly there were clear footsteps on the beach. Sato Hyukiera twitched his ears and said in an impatient tone, "You guys are so slow, Lao Zi is almost bored to death." As he spoke, he turned his head away. When he saw the owner of the footsteps, Sato Hyukiera, who was still about to say something, stopped abruptly. Staring with one eye, he said strangely, "Who are you?" Ichimaru Jin maintained his trademark smile and introduced himself, "Ichimaru Jin, the subject of the 3rd Division of Gotei 13 of the country of Whirlpool, please give me your advice." Ha! Sato Hyukiera was stunned for a moment. Weren't everyone in the Uzumaki country killed by them and Cloud Shinobi? Why did someone show up again? What is this Gotei 13? Sound like an organization? Sato Hyukiera hurriedly shook his head and threw away this information. Why don't you protect the garden? Sato Hyukiera took off the 2 swords and swords on his back and placed them on the rocks with a bang. His eyes became excited and he said with a ferocious smile, "You are the enemy, so don't talk nonsense. Come here quickly and let me chop a few times." Ichimaru Jin laughed and said, "Oh, that's really scary." Sato Hyukiera's face darkened, feeling that he had been ridiculed. But when he saw the knife Ichimaru Jin pulled out, his mood instantly improved and he laughed, "Ha ha ha, are you here to be funny? You use such a short knife." After saying that, Sato Hyukiera showed off his swordsmanship with his double swords. Ichimaru Jin narrowed his eyes and said, "It is your honor to die by this sword." Tisk. Sato Hyukiera stared at Ichimaru Jin's face, feeling increasingly unhappy. The bandage on the double swords and flatfish was instantly torn off. Sato Hyukiera's eyes were dark, he held the double swords, quickly performed the body flicker technique, appeared above Ichimaru Jin, and slammed the double swords towards Ichimaru Jin. The air pressure brought by the terrifying force and weight blew Ichimaru Jin's short hair away. He raised his head slightly, still squinting, and slowly lifted Zanpakuto up, placing it in Sato Hyukiera's attack path. "Ha ha ha! With that little knife, you can even try to block my double swords, flounder." Sato Hyukiera's face was full of disdain, as if he had seen the scene of Ichimaru Jin being smashed into a pulp by him. His dual swords, Kyudama, are special ninja swords made of chakra metal and special materials. How could a mediocre, even ridiculous-looking broken knife be able to block it? Clang! In the flash of lightning, the twin swords and the knife in Ichimaru Jin's hand collided. It makes a crisp sound like a jingle. Sparks fly. To Sato Hyukiera's expectation, the ridiculous knife did not shatter in response to the sound, but instead steadily withstood his attack. Ichimaru Jin felt the force on the knife, and made a judgment about his strength in his heart. He smiled and said, "You are similar to the ninjas I met before, but the weapons are a little better." "Those ninjas in front?" Sato Hyukiera was stunned for a moment. Then he realized that he was a ninja from the same village who was searching for resources in the kingdom of Whirlpool. His eyes suddenly widened, and an unknown fire arose in his heart. "How dare you compare Lao Zi to them? Lao Zi is the 7 Kirigakure ninja swordsman." Sato Hyukiera was completely enraged and brandished his double swords and attacked Ichimaru Jin from all angles. "Oh, he has completely turned into a beast." Ichimaru Jin calmly resisted his attack and kept taunting him. Seeing that the attack for a long time was ineffective, Sato Hyukiera also gradually calmed down. After stopping the offensive and pulling away some distance, Sato Hyukiera said solemnly, "In that case, let me show you the true power of the double flounder." Float liberated. Buzz. The airflow rises from the 2 round holes of the double sword, solitaire, and blue light surrounds the entire solitaire, with huge chakra condensed on the blade. It's a little interesting. Ichimaru-jin looked at the state of Zanpakuto after his liberation, and felt a bit like the liberation of Zanpakuto. Ha ha ha, once you see the true power of Flounder, you can die without any regrets. Sato Hyukiera looked arrogant. Swing the knife. A chakra light cannon strikes instantly. A hole was plowed into the sand under the chakra light cannon. The terrifying energy impact blew the death domination costume on Ichimaru-jin to a whirring sound. Sato Hyukiera smiled ferociously, looking forward to the scene of Ichimaru-jin being blown to pieces. But Ichimaru-jin still looked calm, with his trademark smile on his face, and said unhurriedly, "Shoot it, Shinso." Buzz. The rib-like knife seemed to have heard the order and instantly stretched out to pierce the chakra light cannon. With a bang, before the chakra light cannon reached Ichimaru-jin, it turned into countless chakras, dissipating in the air like broken mirrors. Sato Hyukiera's pupil shrank sharply, and his crazy sixth sense made him subconsciously block him. Boom! Shinso stabbed the turtle, and the momentum beyond the speed of sound smashed Sato Hyukiera and the turtle into the sea with the force of the impact. Ahem! Sato Hyukiera struggled to crawl out of the sea, his internal organs surged, and he vomited out a few mouthfuls of blood. Looking at Ichimaru-jin again, there was inevitable fear in his eyes. Monster! Anyone with squinting eyes is a monster. This sentence appeared in his heart subconsciously. And that knifeful. In addition to their Kirigakure's 7 ninja swords, there are other special ninja swords. The ability to stretch and contract at a speed that is invisible to the naked eye. Sato Hyukiera shuddered when he thought of what had just happened. Almost. Just a little bit closer. He is about to explain it here. For a moment, Sato Hyukiera thought of retreating. But the next moment, he felt like he was being watched by Lion. Majesty. Sato Hyukiera's body tensed, staring at Ichimaru-jin's snake-like face. Almost instantly he understood the fact that he couldn't escape at all. Once he turns around and runs away, with the telescopic ability and speed of that strange knife, he will definitely die. In the Kingdom of Whirlpool, why do such characters still exist? Chapter 5, Yakushi no no. Facing the fear of death, Sato Hyukiera's body trembled slightly. He roared angrily, "Damn it! Laozi will fight with you." The chakra in the body condensed desperately on the flounder, and in just a few seconds, 10 chakra light cannons flew towards Ichimaru-jin from different angles. Sato Hyukiera's chakra was almost consumed, and he knelt down on the sea exhausted, using the remaining chakra to keep himself from falling. Look at Ichimaru-jin expectantly. This is his last chakra. Go to hell. Ichimaru-jin smiled and said, "Is this all your power? Although I am very grateful for your performance, I will ask you to die next." No steps and blades. Buzz. Shins continued to expand and contract in 1 second, piercing all 10 chakra light cannons. Bang bang bang. The chakra light cannon shattered almost at the same time, like a blue rain. Sato Hyukiera's eyes were dull. Ichimaru-jin saw this and said gently, "Shoot it, Shins." Laugh. Shins passed through the round hole of the flatfish and pierced Sato Hyukiera's heart. Ichimaru-jin walked up to Sato Hyukiera. He ignored the dying Sato Hyukiera and instead picked up the twin swords, Flathead. "I wonder if Lord Soul King is interested in this sword." Ichimaru-jin put away his twin swords and squid, and then set his sights on the bushes not far away. The garbage in the Kingdom of Whirlpool has been cleared away, and now it's the turn of the little peeping bugs. The people in the bushes tensed up and walked out without any hesitation, explaining, "Konoha Anbu is an ally of the Whirlpool country and has no ill intentions towards this lord." The man who called himself Konoha Anbu had no intention of escaping after being discovered. After witnessing the entire battle with her own eyes, she knew that there was no chance of her escaping from Ichimaru-jin. "I can only take a gamble. Since the person in front of me initially called himself the captain of the Gotei 13 Division 3 of the country of Whirlpool. That proves that he has a certain relationship with the Kingdom of Whirlpool. As long as they take on the identity of an ally of Konoha, they might be able to survive." When Ichimaru-jin heard her identity, he didn't take action immediately. After all, he is a soldier recruited by Uzumaki Chihiro. But other than having the memory of being loyal to Uzumaki Chihiro, there is no information about the country of Uzumaki. Without Uzumaki Chihiro's order, he would not dare to make decisions on his own. In that case, then come with me to meet Lord Soul King first. Lord Soul King? Konoha Anbu remained calm on the surface, but was full of doubts in his heart. This so-called Soul King should be their leader. But why has this name never been seen in Konoha intelligence? Ichimaru-jin didn't give her time to think. 1,000 anti-white snake brought Konoha Anbu to Uzumaki Chihiro's location. Konoha Anbu's expression flickered, and his pupils shrank suddenly after seeing the changes in the surrounding environment. This is time and space ninjutsu. There was no rush, I just arrived at another place in an instant. This kind of ninjutsu. It must be the time and space ninjutsu. Konoha Anbu swallowed quietly and forced down his violently beating heart. This organization that appeared in the Kingdom of Whirlpool is not only powerful, but also masters the time and space ninjutsu. This information must be sent back to Konoha no matter what. As the rear of Konoha, such a powerful organization is not allowed to exist in the country of Whirlpool. Although she has only met Ichimaru-jin so far, she can get a glimpse of it from his self-introduction. Captain of Gotei 13 Division 3. In other words, there are 12 more characters at the same level as him. Ichimaru-jin alone is already a cage-level person. There are actually 12 such characters. Plus the great man who is honored as the Soul King by Ichimaru-jin. How could Konoha feel at ease if such an organization took root in the rear of the Fire Country? She now hopes that this organization will not offend Konoha and put him back so that Konoha can also get news about the Kingdom of Whirlpool. Even if she dies here, she must find a way to pass on the information. As for whether this organization might be from the Kingdom of Whirlpool, she didn't consider it at all. If the Kingdom of Whirlpool controlled such a force, it would be impossible for the country to be destroyed. Just when Konoha Anbu was thinking about how to send the information out, Uzumaki Chihiro also appeared in front of her. Seeing this, Ichimaru-jin lowered his head and said, "Lord Soul King, the garbage in the Uzumaki country has been cleaned up." This man claimed to be Konoha Anbu, an ally of the Uzumaki country. His subordinates did not dare to make decisions without permission, so they brought him back. Uzumaki Chihiro looked at Anbu with a playful look on his face. "Konoha? An ally of the Uzumaki country? You really have the nerve to say that." Konoha Anbu was also surprised when he saw Uzumaki Chihiro. "Uzumaki clan, how is this possible? The kingdom of Uzumaki has been destroyed for several days, and the Uzumaki clan even ran away to death. The only one who remained in the kingdom of Uzumaki was taken back to Konoha by Anbu. How is it possible that there are still people from the Uzumaki clan in the country of Uzumaki? And he suddenly became the spiritual king of an organization?" Konoha Anbu's heart was filled with turmoil, but his face remained calm as he said, "Konoha Anbu, see the Soul King." Uzumaki Chihiro observed this Anbu. Female, with brown shawl hair and large breasts. On the side, Ichimaru-jin naturally saw Uzumaki Chihiro's attitude when he heard about Konoha, and asked, "Lord Soul King, do you want to kill her?" Konoha Anbu's heart tightened and her muscles tensed instantly. As long as Uzumaki Chihiro gave an order, she would try her best to find a way to pass on the information. Uzumaki Chihiro said, "No need." Konoha Anbu breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that the Soul King still cared about his relationship with Konoha. "Take her down, let Rukia torture her, and then kill her." Konoha Anbu, wait. Bakud number 4, Hainawa. Ichimaru-jin didn't give her time to speak. Before she could react, she found that there was a bare rope on her body, and it was tied so tightly that she could not move. Uzumaki Chihiro stepped forward and took off her Anbu mask. A somewhat familiar face appeared. "Yakushi no? Uzumaki Chihiro was slightly surprised. He didn't expect to meet a character who appeared in the anime so quickly. Although it is a supporting role with no screen. But I have to say that Yakushi no is also a very good-looking female character. In addition, the whole body exudes the aura of maternal glory, which makes it even more unique." Uzumaki Chihiro pinched Yakushi no's chin, chuckled, and said, "I changed my mind. Let Rukia be tortured and then imprisoned. To revive the blood of my Uzumaki clan, we will need her sooner or later. Be careful not to let her die." "Yes, Lord Soul King." Chapter 6, Main Mission, Reviving the Kingdom of Whirlpool. "Lord Soul King, this is a weapon captured by my subordinates." Ichimaru-jin presented the twin swords. Uzumaki Chihiro's eyes lit up. "Elite recruitment item double knife flounder. Another elite recruiting item. Well done." Ichimaru-jin smiled gently and said, as long as the Soul King likes it, then I will stand down. After saying that, and with Uzumaki Chihiro's approval, Ichimaru-jin escorted Yakushi Nono away. After a while, Rukia Kukiki also came back with the team members. After giving some instructions to Yakushi Nono, Uzumaki Chihiro asked them to clean up the ruins of the Uzumaki country. No matter what, we have to clear out a place where people can live. Otherwise, would it be possible for him, the majestic Soul King, to sleep on the street every day? After everyone left, Uzumaki Chihiro opened the system panel again. Just when Rukia Kukiki came back to life, there was movement in his system again. Ding! It is detected that the host has successfully conquered the Kingdom of Whirlpool and starts the main mission, the revival of the Kingdom of Whirlpool. Main mission Stage 1, accumulate 10,000 reputation points, completed, and unlock the building Rukanga as a reward. Main mission Stage 2, accumulate 100,000 reputation points, recruit a hero unit, and unlock the building Sei Lingbai as a reward. There is actually a main mission. Uzumaki Chihiro didn't expect this. However, this main mission coincided with his ideas. System, receive the mission reward. Ding! Please host confirm the building placement area. With a buzz, a reduced version of the Uzumaki country's territory appeared in front of Uzumaki Chihiro. There is also a phantom of a building suspended above. Uzumaki Chihiro can control the phantom of the building to fall at any location through his thoughts. He thought for a moment. Since completing the mission can unlock the buildings in Shinigami, it is better to completely transform the country of Uzumaki into the appearance of Seireitei. Then Rukanga is not suitable to be placed in the center. With a thought, Uzumaki Chihiro dropped Rukanga on the outermost edge of the Kingdom of Whirlpool. At the moment when the shadow fell, a white light flashed outside the Kingdom of Whirlpool, and scattered residential houses appeared out of thin air. Ichimaru-jin, Rukia Kukiki, and others were surprised, but after learning that this was the work of the Soul King, they didn't care. There was only enthusiasm for Uzumaki Chihiro in his eyes. On the other hand, Yakushi Nono's eyes widened and he said in surprise, "What happened?" Ichimaru-jin said with a smile, "No need to make a fuss, it's just the Soul King who is building the Kingdom of Whirlpool." Yakushi Nono. You call this construction? There was a flash of white light, and with a snap, a bunch of buildings appeared. You call this construction? What about the process? This should obviously be called a miracle. Even first Hokage, who possesses wood style, feels that it is impossible to build such a large complex of buildings in one go. Yakushi took a deep breath. Only now did she understand why this member of the Uzumaki clan could be so respected by the person in front of her who had at least cage-level strength. With such great power, I am afraid that this Lord Soul King is not as simple as he seems. But if it has this kind of power, why will the Kingdom of Whirlpool be destroyed? Moreover, what did he mean by what he said before? What does the revival of the Uzumaki clan have to do with her? Uzumaki Chihiro click on Rukanga's introduction from the map. Rukanga, from the Shinigami series of card pool buildings, it has a 50% chance of absorbing the souls of the dead. Hiss! Uzumaki Chihiro gasped. I thought it was just an ordinary building, but I didn't expect it to have the effect of absorbing dead souls. After he unlocks the Spiritual Arts Academy, he might be able to cultivate the Shinigami series of troops without consuming reputation points. Coupled with the special nature of the blood inheritance limit in the Hokage world, maybe a few heroic units can be cultivated. Hiss! The more I think about it, the more excited I get. System, can a soul that has been dead for a few days absorb Rukanga? Uzumaki Chihiro has some expectations in his heart. Maybe, through this Rukanga, the Uzumaki clan that has just been exterminated can come back. But the cold mechanical sound of the system interrupted Uzumaki Chihiro's fantasy. Ding! Due to different world rules, Rukanga can only accept the souls of the dead after unlocking Rukanga. The souls of the dead who have gone to the Pure Land world are currently not within the reception range. For now, it seems there is still a chance, but the conditions have not been met yet. Uzumaki Chihiro saw the key point at a glance. Although it is not possible at the moment, one day he will let the Kingdom of Whirlpool replace the Pure Land world. Of course, the meal must be eaten one bite at a time, and the road must be walked step by step. The top priority is to gain reputation points as soon as possible, recruit troops, and form an army that can compete with the 5 major ninja villages. It's just that the accumulation of reputation points is really slow. Uzumaki Chihiro frowned slightly as he stared at the reputation value that began to stagnate after rising to more than 20,000. For more than 20,000 miles, the 7 ninja swordsmen and Yakushi no killed by Ichimaru-jin accounted for the majority. We still have to find a way to spread the news of the land of Whirlpool, or Gotei 13, to the ninja world. The more people know about Whirlpool country or Gotei 13, the faster the reputation will rise. It's a pity that the ninjas in Kirigakure didn't leave any survivors alive, otherwise they could have people pass the news back and earn some reputation points. Although those ninjas did not wear Kirigakure's forehead protector on their heads, Uzumaki Chihiro, who had read the original work, knew that it was Cloud Shinobi and Mist Shinobi who attacked the Kingdom of Whirlpool. Then these ninjas are naturally either Cloud Shinobi or Mist Ninja. Coupled with the identities of the 7 Jonin swordsmen, the identity of the Mist Ninja is even more confirmed. As for Cloud Shinobi, it seems that he got what he wanted, so he doesn't care about the other resources of the Uzumaki country. In addition, the journey is far away, so there is no need to waste time in the Kingdom of Whirlpool. Uzumaki Chihiro is not afraid that the current situation in the country of Whirlpool will be known to other ninja villages. The current period is the most suitable period for his development. The second war in the ninja world is about to break out. Konoha, Iwagakure and Tsunagakure are facing each other in the Rain country, unable to draw much military power. He doesn't care about the affairs of the Whirlpool country at all. In other words, there are only 2 things you really need to care about: Cloud Shinobi Village and Kirigakure. The 2 real culprits who destroyed the Kingdom of Whirlpool might just come and eliminate the root cause after getting the news about the Kingdom of Whirlpool. Of course, it is also possible that people don't care about the small role of Uzumaki Chihiro at all. After all, there are so many Uzumaki clan living in exile in the original book, and they have not been seen specifically to go there to eradicate them. But he couldn't be careless. Therefore, the policy he formulated is to act in a high-profile manner for Gotei 13 to gain reputation points. He keeps a low profile and tries not to let people know his identity as an Uzumaki clan member. A mysterious force that occupies the Kingdom of Whirlpool will naturally not attract much attention from the 5 major ninja villages. Set a small goal first and clear the Water Kingdom. Chapter 7, Consume the Double Sword and Recruit Elite Troops. After planning the development strategy, Uzumaki Chihiro set his sights on reputation value and the Double Sword Flounder. Explosive Troops. The system consumes the elite level recruitment item Double Swords and Flounder to recruit elite troops. Ding! Congratulations to host for successfully recruiting the Vice Captain of Division 6, Abarai Renji. There was a purple light. A man with his bright red hair tied up into the sky came out. Abarai Renji, Vice Captain of the 6th Division, please see the Soul King. Abarai Renji. Strength, Vice Captain level. Position, Deputy Captain of the 6th Division. Ability, Zanpakutsubameru. Withdrawing money again. It seems you are lucky today. With the remaining reputation points, Uzumaki Chihiro plans to recruit enough to form a patrol unit. Used to prevent enemy invasion around the Kingdom of Whirlpool. The system consumes 6,000 reputation points and randomly recruits 30 ordinary soldiers. A dull white light flashed. 30 team members showed up. Uzumaki Chihiro glanced at it, but there was no surprise. But it is still different from the ordinary soldiers summoned before. The previous batch basically only knew white hits and kendo, and they were not yet proficient. Although there are some in this batch, very few have mastered some simple kid and bakudo. It should be related to the reputation points consumed. Although they are both ordinary arms, the strength of arms with 100 reputation points and 999 arms is definitely different. For the remaining 18,000, spend 6,000 reputation points to summon 3 high-level troops. This time, the system's light turned into blue light again, leaving Uzumaki Chihiro speechless. It's like playing a card-drawing game in the Hokage world. Uzumaki Chihiro checks the information of 3 high-level arms. Togakushi Riku. Strength, Executive level. Position, 3rd seat of the 3rd Division. Ability, Zanpakut Spring Dust. Katakura Asuka. Strength, Executive level. Position, 6th seat of the 3rd Division. Ability, Zanpakut Kotakage. Uzumaki Chihiro. The 3 high-level military units are all seat managers of the 3rd Division. Then form the 3rd team first. Then let the 3rd team temporarily take over patrol duties. The emergency reserve team is to move wherever needed. After giving the summoned troops to Ichimaru-jin to fill up his 3rd Division, Uzumaki Chihiro went to study with Rukia Kukiki as kid. Now that I have Ryutsu, I naturally have to practice some. A few days later, Uzumaki Chihiro made rapid progress. I don't know if it's because of the feedback from explosive soldiers. Even the talent was given some feedback. In short, in just a few days, Uzumaki Chihiro's Zuken Kaizei has been upgraded to a higher level. Even Rukia Kukiki was surprised. It's a pity that there is no sealed state. Maybe I can awaken my own Zanpakuto. Uzumaki Chihiro has some expectations. He wants to know what kind of Zanpakuto he will awaken. Rukia Kukiki suggested, Sir, Soul King, Spiritual Arts Academy provides sealed state to the students who enter the school every year. If you want it, you can go to Spiritual Arts Academy. Uzumaki Chihiro. This is indeed the way to get sealed state. The problem is, Spiritual Arts Academy has not been unlocked yet. Speaking of which, Uzumaki Chihiro thought of Rukanga, which he unlocked a few days ago. There are already some unfamiliar faces appearing in Rukanga. Since people die every day in the ninja world, Rukanga has become lively in just a few days. But they are all ordinary summoning souls and do not have the qualifications to become Shinigami. Uzumaki Chihiro also observed carefully. It was found that most of these dead souls were unconscious and had forgotten their memories of their lives. This is quite good. At the same time, in the Kingdom of Water, Kirigakure finally felt something was wrong. Why is there no news about the team heading to the Kingdom of Whirlpool? Therefore, 3rd Mizukage arranged a team of Anbu ninjas to go to the country of Whirlpool to investigate the situation. A few days later, the Mist Shinobi Assassination Special Forces were discovered in advance by members of the Patrol Division 3 before they even landed. There is an enemy invasion. Go and notify Mr. Zill. No, we're here. Gori Takesuna, Togakushi Riku and Katakura Asuka came to the coast immediately. He stared sharply at the ninja running on the sea. At the same time, the Mist Shinobi Anbu team also discovered the patrol team in Black Death uniforms in the country of Whirlpool, and temporarily stopped their progress. Without the fluctuation of chakra, is it a samurai? Mist Shinobi Anbu, the only ninja in the team who has mastered the art of perception, shares information. The captain of Team Anbu said, Can you sense Sato Jonin's chakra? The sensing ninja shook his head and said, There are no other chakra fluctuations within my perception range. Is it possible that Sato Jonin is in the interior of the country of Whirlpool? Captain Anbu said nothing. But I had the answer in my heart. Something happened in the Kingdom of Whirlpool, and a group of people from other forces appeared. With Sato Jonin's character, the fight would have started long ago. It is this group of warriors standing here now, which means that Sato Jonin is probably in danger. It's just that these samurai without chakra certainly cannot be Sato Jonin's opponent. In other words, there are others behind them. Captain Anbu thought for a moment and gave up the decision to land. They are just here to investigate the situation, not to avenge Sato. You can't get any useful information just by going this way. It would be best to capture one of the samurai there and bring him back to the village. A group of warriors without chakra have not yet been taken seriously by him. Just be careful who's behind them. Fog Dog. Anbu, who was called, showed great understanding and formed a seal with his hands. Mist Shinobi Technique. As the most basic ninjutsu of Mist Shinobi Assassination Special Forces, Kiratengu's proficiency in the Mist Shinobi technique is almost at its peak. There was still some distance between us and Gori Taketsuna and the others, but the fog spread extremely quickly, covering the Shinigami on the coast in a short period of time. Occupying a favorable environment, the Mist Shinobi Anbu team immediately performed their specialty silent killing technique. Throat, eyes, heart. A low and murderous voice surrounded the fog, putting great pressure on the ordinary team members. It was as if there was a knife moving around their bodies, as if they were thinking about where to start. But this method of psychological pressure is useless against Gori Taketsuna. Gori Taketsuna took out his itchy ears and said impatiently, It's chirping, it's really noisy. The next moment, Zanpakuto was unsheathed. Blow the whistle, Tiger Fall Flute. Buzz. The Zanpakuto Shikai turned into a large sword, with 3 small round holes appearing on it. Gori Taketsuna waved hard, and the airflow passed through the round hole. Roar. The ear-splitting tiger roar penetrates the fog. Everyone in Mist Shinobi Anbu had a buzzing head and a splitting headache. What kind of ninjutsu is this? Before he could recover, Gori Taketsuna struck out again. Captain Mist Shinobi Anbu yelled, Cover your ears. Roar! The deafening tiger roar sounded again. The ripples in the air surged and formed a huge tiger head. The tiger's head opened its big mouth and roared, and the fog of the film was instantly cleared away. Captain Mist Shinobi Anbu saw this and immediately issued an order. The enemy has insufficient intelligence, retreat first. After saying this, he directly used the body flicker technique and ran towards the sea. Come when you want, leave when you want. Where do you think the country of Whirlpool is? Chapter 8, Reputation Value Skyrocketed, Unexpected Surprise. Eliminate it, Kata Cage. Katakara Asuka Zanpakuchikai, becomes two different prongs. Between the two branches, lightning flashed past. Katakara Asuka inserts katana into the sea. Zib. Crack. Thunder and lightning spread instantly in the sea. What? Captain Mist Shinobi's eyes widened when he saw this. This time he finally saw clearly the attack methods of these warriors. Those knives. Ah! Before he could think about it, the team members screamed. The thunder and lightning on the sea were like lion majesty, biting towards them crazily. Captain Mist Shinobi saw this and ran away without hesitation. He performed the body flicker technique desperately, even if it was overused and the muscles were torn, he did not stop. He knows that this ability cannot have no limit. As long as he persists until that time, he can survive. Plop, plop. One by one, Anbu was caught up by thunder and lightning, his whole body was paralyzed, and he fell into the deep sea. He could only grit his teeth and run as hard as he could. When thunder and lightning were about to wrap around him, the light suddenly disappeared. The coast of the country of whirlpools. Staring at Anbu's running back, Katakara Asuka said unhappily, "Damn monkey, I can kill him right away, why did you suddenly interrupt me?" Gori Taketsuna explained, the captain said, "Leave one alive and go back." Katakara Asuka paused, then silently put away Zanpakut. Continue patrolling. On the other side, Uzumaki Chihiro also got the news. It was of course Uzumaki Chihiro's idea to leave him alive. If you want to gain more reputation points, more people need to know the news about the Kingdom of Whirlpool. Cast a long line and catch big fish. Uzumaki Chihiro stared at the reputation value on the panel that had increased to 6,000, and chuckled, "Let the bullets fly for a while." The land of water, Kirigakure. Captain Anbu reported the information in Mizukage's office in a somewhat embarrassed manner. Third Mizukage Minajiki Mei squinted his eyes, his expression unchanged. "But I was thinking in my heart. There are no chakra samurai, but the swords are similar to their Kirigakure's 7 ninja swords and have this special ability. A ninja sword with sonic and lightning abilities." There was something strange in his heart. Since there is no chakra, how exactly is the ability of the ninja sword used? Keeping this in mind, Minajiki Mei began to think about how to solve the situation in the country of Whirlpool. Originally, he decided to station himself in the country of Whirlpool while Konoha was being restrained by Uegakure and Tsunagakure. Konoha cannot spare too many troops now. Once they are stationed in, they will build the Kingdom of Whirlpool into a stronghold. At that time, we will have the ability to radiate the Fire Nation. Even if Konoha recovers, if he wants to take action against Mist Shinobi in the land of Whirlpool, he will still bleed. The land of fire is a fertile land. Not only the Kingdom of Wind is thinking about it, but they, the Kingdom of Water, have also been coveting it for a long time. It's a pity that the two countries are separated by the sea, and there used to be a country of Whirlpool opposite. Kirigakure really couldn't reach out. Seeing that the dawn is approaching, something went wrong in the Kingdom of Whirlpool. The peach was actually picked by forces who didn't know where they came from. Third Mizukage will definitely not be able to swallow this breath. What's more, one of the 7 ninja swordsmen, the user of the double swords Kaiba, is in the country of Whirlpool and his life or death is uncertain. It doesn't matter whether Sato lives or dies, what matters is the twin swords. The 7 ninja swords are already considered the foundation of Kirigakure. As long as the ninja sword is there, even if the owner of the ninja sword dies, Kirigakure can quickly train the next ninja sword user through the ninja sword. Ensure that there will be no gaps in Kirigakure's senior management strength. Therefore, this country of vortex must be explored even if it is a dragon's pond and a tiger's den. Of course, Third Mizukage did not think that this sudden force could withstand the power of a ninja village. Not to mention Kirigakure, one of the 5 great ninja villages. Inform the 7 ninja swordsmen and ask them to lead the team to the Kingdom of Whirlpool to eliminate the enemies, establish a stronghold, and get back the double swords, Kaiba. Due to insufficient information, 3rd Mizukage decided to let the 7 ninja swordsmen go there just to be on the safe side. Hey? Let the 6 of us go together. During the holiday, the Fugyuki Sukazan, who received a temporary mission notification, looked unhappy at the result of the mission scroll. After opening the mission scroll, it became even more unpleasant. He muttered, "The Kingdom of Whirlpool? Wasn't it just destroyed? Why do you want to go again? Hey? That bastard Sato is dead? Ha ha ha. I knew he looked like a short-lived ghost. A weird ninja sword? Has weird abilities. Humph. How dare you use a ninja sword of the same size as me, the Fugyuki Sukazan." At the same time, the other 5 also received mission notifications. Start gathering ninjas and head to the Kingdom of Whirlpool. In the Kingdom of Whirlpool, Uzumaki Chihiro stared at the skyrocketing reputation value on the system panel and smiled knowingly. It looks like the fish has taken the bait. You can gain reputation quickly in this way. In the future, if you get Shinigami, you can show off more and increase your reputation. Of course, he didn't know if Kirigakure would send someone. After learning about the situation in the country of Whirlpool, Uzumaki Chihiro thinks the probability of coming is higher. After all, their ninja sword is still in the hands of Uzumaki Chihiro. Although it had been used by him to recruit troops, Kirigakure didn't know it. As long as you want to recover the ninja sword, you will definitely send someone here. To be on the safe side, the next few days will be the time to explode troops. Now the reputation value has become 74,742 points. To be honest, this number somewhat surprised him. Just by entering Kirigakure's site, it can rise to more than 70,000. If we do this a few more times, wouldn't we be able to collect all the hero arms from the Shinigami series in no time? I just don't know if this situation is normal, or if it's because I received Kirigakure's attention for the first time. For a moment, Uzumaki Chihiro wanted to touch the beards of the other 4 great ninja villages. But he soon sobered up. With his current strength, dealing with a Kirigakure would be like dancing on the edge of a knife. If there were a few more, I wouldn't even know how to die. Calm. 1 Kirigakure alone is enough to farm. For other ninja villages, we can wait until we recruit a few more heroic units. After calming down, Uzumaki Chihiro first took a bath and burned incense, then took a deep breath and began to explode. System, first use the reputation value of 14,000 to randomly recruit 100 ordinary soldiers. After the words fell, a white light flashed. A variety of ordinary soldiers appeared in front of Uzumaki Chihiro. It was just a casual glance, but there was an unexpected surprise. 2 chairmen and a vice captain. What's going on with the system? Ding! Each level of card pool has a probability of recruiting higher level troops. The difference lies in the probability. Uzumaki Chihiro's eyes suddenly lit up. It turns out that burning incense in the bath really works. If you are confused by a different name, please search on Google with that name and then it will appear who the character is. I didn't change anything in it because this is MTL. Chapter 9, Matsumoto Ranjaku, Konoha's reaction. Of the 2 seats, Uzumaki Chihiro was underwhelming. Even the ability column does not show Zanpakuto, but Kid and Kide. It looks a little different from the high-level troops recruited before. As for the vice captain, Omadame Rekio. Strength, vice captain level. Position, vice captain of the 2nd division. Ability, Zanpakuto 5-shaped head. Uzumaki Chihiro was not impressed by him. I just vaguely remember that this guy's Zanpakuto seems to have turned into a meteor hammer. Other than that, he doesn't seem to have any special abilities. Let's just say it's better than nothing. Anyway, he was recruited from the ordinary card pool, so he made a profit. Next, it's time to recruit elite troops. With a reputation value of 60,000, Uzumaki Chihiro thought about it and asked the system to randomly summon 3 elite units. There was a flash of purple light, and 3 familiar faces appeared. Oh who? It's a heavyweight unit. Uzumaki Chihiro focused his eyes on the man in the middle, feeling that his eyes were blinded. The vice captain of the 10th division, Matsumoto Ranjaku, meet the Soul King. Her long wavy orange hair flutters in the wind, and the beauty mark on her lips gives her a mature charm. Especially the pair of eye-catching behemoths, anyone who sees them will sigh secretly. Tsunade has a rival. Uzumaki Chihiro marveled, and then checked Matsumoto Ranjaku's information. Matsumoto Ranjaku. Strength, vice captain level. Position, Deputy Captain of the 10th Division. Ability, Zanpakuto Hanko. Uzumaki Chihiro remembers that her Zanpakuto was of the Qingfeng type. During Shikai, the blade turns into iron mist and has the ability to control all surrounding sand grains. He is also a very powerful character. He is also the deputy captain of the patrol guard team of the 10th Division. With Matsumoto Rangiku, the patrol mission of the Uzumaki country can be left to her to coordinate. Uzumaki Chihiro continued to check the information of the other two elite units. Kira Izuru. Strength, Vice Captain level. Position, Deputy Captain of the 3rd Division. Ability, Zanpakuto Wabaisuke. Hinamori Momo. Strength, Vice Captain level. Position, Deputy Captain of the 5th Division. Ability, Zanpakuto Fime. These two are also characters who appeared in the original work. One Zanpakuto ability is related to gravity, and the other is a fire-based Zanpakuto. In Uzumaki Chihiro's view, these Zanpakuto abilities are no different in the ninja world than in the blood successor realm. There are even some abilities that are even more outrageous than the blood inheritance limit. But some blood successors have eliminated that flavor. Hand over Kira Izuru, a member of the 3rd Division, to Ichimaru Jin. Uzumaki Chihiro asked Matsumoto Rangiku to form the 10th Division as soon as possible to take over the patrol mission of the country of Whirlpool. Hinamori Momo asked her to select members from the ordinary arms to form the 5th Division. Let the vice captains form their respective squads first. After he recruits heroic units, the squad captains no longer need to spend energy to form a team. After the explosion was over and everything was given. Then it's time to wait. Wait for Kirigakuer to come over and send a new wave of reputation points. Kirigakuer's movement was so big that it naturally couldn't be hidden from the other 4 major ninja villages. Due to the current tense situation in the ninja world, any disturbance affects the hearts of every ninja village. The situation where all 7 Kirigakuer ninja swordsmen were dispatched naturally aroused speculation from other ninja villages. Is it possible that Kirigakuer also wants to get involved in the second war in the ninja world? But after learning that Kirigakuer's target was the country of Whirlpool, Iwagakuer and Tsunagakuer relaxed. Instead, he felt a little gloating about his misfortune. After all, the kingdom of Whirlpool is behind the kingdom of fire. If Kirigakuer's goal is the country of Uzumaki, then Konoha will definitely not be able to use all its strength when fighting them. Instead, always be careful not to start a fire in your own backyard. As for Cloud Shinobi Village, they have no time to deal with these nonsense in the ninja world. They are busy studying the sealing techniques obtained from the land of Whirlpool, and are conducting experiments on the tailed beast Jinkraki. Fire Nation, Konoha Village. Hokage Office. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the information in his hand and frowned deeply. I couldn't help but take a puff of my pipe to relieve the depression in my heart. Soon, the office became filled with smoke. Sakumo, what do you think? Handing the information in his hand to the white-haired man standing at the desk, Sarutobi Hiruzen wanted to hear his thoughts. Hitaki Sakumo Kaido, although I don't know Kirigakuer's intentions, no matter what their purpose is, as long as they stand on the territory of the Uzumaki country, they will be the greatest disadvantage to our Konoha. Sarutobi Hiruzen rubbed his temples and sighed, that's what I'm worried about. The war with the Kingdom of Earth and the Kingdom of Wind is about to begin. We cannot have such a hidden danger in our rear. Sakumo, you bring 4 Enbu teams. No matter what Kirigakuer does, you must harass them as much as possible and don't make them too comfortable to achieve their goals. After saying that, Sarutobi Hiruzen stood up and patted Hitaki Sakumo on the shoulder, saying sincerely, now Konoha can't spare too many troops, so I can only work hard for you. Sakumo. Hitaki Sakumo said without hesitation, it's my duty. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked pleased. Okay, let's go. After Hitaki Sakumo left, Sarutobi Hiruzen fell silent, and then sighed, I don't know whether the decision on the Uzumaki country is right or wrong. If the kingdom of Whirlpool was still there, how could Konoha Kagaya fall into such an existence surrounded by enemies? He even hated Mito-sama. Even Tsunade is no longer as close as before. After all, it was the first Hokage who signed the alliance treaty with the Uzumaki clan, but now he has turned the Senju clan into a treacherous clan. But the Uzumaki clan's sealing technique that can restrain tailed beasts is also a scarce resource for Konoha. Standing in the Hokage's shoes, some things are inevitable. He wanted to make decisions for the benefit of Konoha. After one day, Kirigakuer is a war weapon of one of the 5 great nations. When it is in operation, it is extremely efficient. The troops heading to the Kingdom of Whirlpool were quickly gathered. This time, destroying the enemy and getting back the ninja sword were secondary. The main purpose is to build the Kingdom of Whirlpool into a stronghold capable of radiating inland. However, the changes in the land of Whirlpool made the third Mizukage speed up their pace. The moment Kirigakure troops set foot on the sea, the entire ninja world focuses on the Kingdom of Whirlpool. Although most people have guessed Kirigakure's purpose, they want to see what Konoha will do after Kirigakure's actions. Suck it up? Or a strong counterattack? Once the Konoha army moves towards the Kingdom of Whirlpool, that's when the second war in the ninja world begins. In this situation, the reputation of the Kingdom of Whirlpool once again experienced an explosion. If you are confused by a different name, please search on Google with that name and then it will appear who the character is. I didn't change anything in it because this is MTL. Chapter 10, Mist Shinobi Lands, 1 of Head Rush. What happened? Uzumaki Chihiro stared at the reputation value that had skyrocketed again on the system panel, feeling a little confused. Hasn't Kirigakure's wave already been harvested? It had stagnated before, but it suddenly started to rise again, and the speed was not slow. Uzumaki Chihiro naturally did not expect that the third Mizukage would make quite a fuss over the strategic location of the country of Whirlpool. As a result, the Kingdom of Whirlpool once again appeared in the sight of the ninja world. However, he also had a strong idea in his heart, and he understood that the sudden surge in reputation value meant that something big must have happened. And it's also related to the Kingdom of Whirlpool. I just don't know whether this is a blessing or a curse for the country of Whirlpool. It's most likely not a good thing. After all, the last time the Uzumaki country was in the limelight in the ninja world was when it was destroyed. But this time the situation in the Kingdom of Whirlpool is completely different from before. Deep Blue, Ba. System, Blast Troops. No matter what happened was good or bad. The increased reputation is real. Uzumaki Chihiro couldn't help but feel a little excited when he saw his reputation value rising to 180,000 before stopping. This was the first time he had seen so many reputation points. And with these 180,000 reputation points, he can recruit another heroic unit. Now in the country of Whirlpool, the number of people at the grassroots level is almost enough. There are also many senior officials at the middle level. There are also 6 vice-captains with high-end combat power. There is only one top-level combatant, captain of the 3rd Division, Ichimaru Jin. Although Ichimaru Jin is very strong, he has no problem dealing with average cage level strength. However, it is difficult for 2 fists to defeat 4 hands, so it is necessary to recruit more heroic units to avoid encountering a situation that Ichimaru Jin cannot handle. System, consume all reputation points and recruit a hero unit. The words fell. The long-lost world crossing gate appears again. The door is filled with this dazzling golden light. A petite woman with short bangs and braids came out. Gotei 13, Captain Sui Feng of the 2nd Division has met Lord Soul King. Sui Feng. Strength, Captain level. Position, Captain of the 2nd Division. Ability, Zanpakutsu Zumibaki. Another captain. With a reputation of 180,000, Uzumaki Chihiro was very satisfied to be able to recruit Sui Feng. And although the ability column on the information provided by the system only shows Zanpakut, but Uzumaki Chihiro understands that as Sui Feng, the captain of the assassination force, her shunpo is also very powerful. With the addition of Sui Feng, the Kingdom of Whirlpool already has 2 cage-level characters. It is even said that Ichimaru Jin and Sui Feng are stronger than ordinary shadows. And each of them also controls a more powerful Bankai. Next, the development of the Kingdom of Whirlpool can be accelerated. In other words, the Kingdom of Whirlpool can be more high-profile. After recruiting Sui Feng, Uzumaki Chihiro asked him to select team members and form her second team. After a while, Matsumoto Rangeko Shunpo appeared and reported the situation. Lord Soul King, there is a large group of ninjas approaching on the sea in the direction of Water Country. The number of people is estimated to be more than 300. 300? Uzumaki Chihiro was slightly surprised. Except for the previous patrol of more than a dozen people, the Kingdom of Whirlpool didn't seem to have exposed much strength, right? Kirigakure actually sent more than 300 troops? It's just a country of whirlpools, but Kirigakure is so cautious? Uzumaki Chihiro couldn't figure out Kirigakure's thoughts. Matsumoto Rangeko continued to report, in addition to these ninjas, there are 6 ninjas with strange weapons who look like the leaders. 7 Ninja Swordsmen. Upon hearing Matsumoto Ranjaku's description, Uzumaki Chihiro immediately thought of these 5 words. Kirigakuer, only the 7 ninja swordsmen wear this costume. But this surprised Uzumaki Chihiro even more. Even the 7 ninja swordsmen were dispatched. Kirigakuer is really generous. Although I don't understand why 3rd Mizukage made the battle so big. But it also made him understand why his reputation suddenly soared a lot. Kirigakuer made such a big move, it would be difficult for other ninja villages not to know about it. In addition, Kirigakuer's goal is the Kingdom of Whirlpool. Uzumaki Chihiro understands that he is purely riding on the popularity of the Kingdom of Water. I have to thank Miss Shinobi for sending me a big wave of reputation points. Uzumaki Chihiro ordered, inform all Shinigami who are not on guard duty to go to the East Blue Bank to meet the enemy. Yes. After receiving the order from Lord Soul King, Matsumoto Ranjaku used Shunpo again and disappeared. The country of Whirlpool, East Blue Coast. Not far away from the Mist Shinobi troops, the Tsukuyomi Puffer demon saw the samurai waiting on the coast. Not only did he curse angrily, didn't you say there were only a dozen people, there are nearly 200 of them. Loquat Zhozang said calmly, the intelligence said that Anbu did not successfully land. There is insufficient information about the Kingdom of Whirlpool. It's because you didn't look carefully. Being choked by Loquat Zhozo, the Watermelon Mountain Puffer ghost snorted. Okay, no matter how many people there are, they are just a bunch of rabble. Black Holeya curled his lips in disdain. A group of guys who didn't even have chakra were not worthy of being killed by him. Loquat Zhozang frowned and said, don't be careless. Although the intelligence says that they don't have chakra, they can use ninja swords with special abilities. Others did not take Loquat Zhozang's caution to heart. A special ninja sword? Is it as powerful as their ninja sword? How dare you stand on the beach in front of us, Kirigakuer? A penetrating smile appeared on the ferocious face of the Watermelon Mountain Puffer ghost. Everyone, Water Style is ready to give them a meeting gift. The Mist Ninjas formed seals with their hands. Water Style Water Bounce Technique. Hundreds of water bombs were like cannonballs, arcing across the sky and falling toward the shore. Since the Mist Ninjas were standing on the ocean in Water Style's home field, they used the lowest chakra consumption, but used water bombs that were several times more powerful than usual. Water bullets fell from the sky in dense numbers, but the Shinigami remained unmoved. Seeing this, the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Fish Ghost mocked, hey, 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 are you scared to death? As soon as he finished speaking, the Shinigami took action. Togakushi Rikyu saw that the water bullets fell to a certain extent, and said, everyone, one of Heido charge. As the simplest kid, anyone who has studied at the Spiritual Arts Academy will release it. When one of the more than 200 had players, Chong, was released together. There seemed to be an invisible giant net in the air, catching all the dense water flows without leaking. The invisible impact penetrated them one by one, turning into water again and falling on the sea surface, causing a large splash. The Watermelon Mountain Puffer Fish Ghost picked up Same Hata and rubbed his itchy head, and said in a daze, what's going on? Chapter 11, Ling Wu, Sodi no Shirayuki. The Watermelon Mountain Puffer Fish Ghost felt like his head was itching, as if he was about to grow a brain. There were no attacks, no seals, and even the group of people in front of them didn't even have chakra. As a result, he shouted so powerfully, and more than 300 water bullets were shattered like this. Could it be that the ninja world was changing too fast and their Kirigakuer was derailed? Nowadays, the ninjutsu Todoroki no longer requires seals or chakra. Instead, whoever has a louder voice will be more powerful. On the other hand, Loquat Zhozang drooped his eyelids, thinking deeply. One of Heido Chong? Although he didn't know the meaning of this sentence, he understood that it must be closely related to the incident just now. Reminiscent of the state when the water bomb was crushed. Rush? Could it be a ninjutsu related to rushing? But didn't the intelligence say that there was no chakra in these people? Loquat Zhozo, who had some doubts in his heart, asked the sensing ninja to verify it again. After confirming that there was indeed no sign of chakra, Loquat Zhozang felt even more strange. Without chakra, how can one use ninjutsu? Even the other 7 ninja swordsmen were a little surprised. However, they are not as much as Loquat Zhozang thought. In the face of absolute strength, any means are useless. And they are the absolute strength at this moment. The Watermelon Mountain Puffer Fish's head became more and more itchy and he scratched his head frantically. Finally, he couldn't bear it anymore and decided to experiment on his own. Make a seal with your hands. Water-style Great Falls technique. Boom! The calm sea surface suddenly became rough, and huge waves covered the sun and swept towards the Shinigami. Black Hole Yake, who was standing next to the pufferfish ghost in Watermelon Mountain, was suffering from old sins. His ears were buzzing and he roared, "Why are you shouting so loudly?" The Watermelon Mountain puffer ghost didn't pay attention to him, but carefully observed the Great Falls technique. "I don't know if it's because of psychological effects or something else, but it feels like the Great Falls technique is, maybe, a little stronger." On the other side, Togakushi Rikyu frowned, his face covered with shadows obscured by the waves. The Zanpakuto he held in his hand was squeezed tightly. He was very surprised that there was someone among the enemies who could launch such a powerful attack. This kind of person is no longer something he can deal with. Taking a deep breath, Togakushi Rikyu said in a deep voice, "Retreat. Get out of the range of the waves first." At the same time, Hatake Sakumo, who came from Konoha, arrived at the place where the battle broke out early after bypassing the Uzumaki country security. He has been observing here for some time. "I am also very confused about this new force in the Kingdom of Whirlpool. He looks like a samurai, but he also masters a ninjutsu that doesn't require seals? What's more important is that this Muji ninjutsu can be used by everyone in this group of warriors." In his opinion, Muin ninjutsu is a ninjutsu with a very high threshold. But in the hands of this group of warriors, it seems to have become a piece of trash. Although he was determined to investigate the details of this group of warriors, under such a powerful waterfall technique, the odds were probably against him. He had an impression of the ninja who performed the spell. His details are in the Ministry of Intelligence. Kirigaku, one of the 7 ninja swordsmen, the Sokoyama pufferfish demon. In addition to his superb water-style ninjutsu, he also uses his ninja sword Samehada to store a huge amount of chakra. For example, only the Watermelon Mountain blowfish ghost with Samehada can use the Great Waterfall technique of this level. Therefore, Hatake Sakumo was not optimistic that these samurai would survive. Sure enough, the waves spread extremely quickly and over a wide range. Even though this group of samurai used the body flicker technique, which seemed to be of higher quality than the body flicker technique, they still couldn't escape the scope of the falling waves. Togakushi Rikyu gritted his teeth and said, "Raise the scroll." Spring dust. Zanpakuto Chikai, turned into a sickle shape, Togakushi Rikyu waved hard, and a sharp wind blade slashed on the waves. But it only scratches the surface. Seeing this, Wugo and Katakura Asuka also shikai their own Zanpakuto. Blow the whistle, Tiger Loyal Flute. Eliminate it, Katanyan. The other team members didn't know shikai, but they also used Kid to try to slow down the speed of the waves and buy them time to escape from the range of the waves. Hatake Sakumo's eyes brightened slightly, and he saw a different ability. A ninja sword that can release wind blades, sonic waves, and lightning attacks. It has the same purpose as the 7 ninja swordsmen. Keep this in mind and then look to the others. Although everyone else also has a ninja sword, they don't seem to have the same special ninja sword as those 3 people. This actually made him relieved. It's just that there are a few more ninjutsu that don't require sealing, which makes him very concerned. 1 of Heido Chong. Heido no 4 White Thunder. Heido 12. Fuhuo. Etc. In just a few seconds, Hatake Sakumo saw no less than 5 Muji ninjutsu. Such a situation shocked him. Could it be that this group of people has completely mastered the technique of releasing ninjutsu without using any seals? If this technology is obtained by Konoha, Konoha's military power will once again increase to a new level. The battle between ninjas changes rapidly, and every second is the speed of life and death. You don't need to form seals, but your opponent needs to form seals. This is not a matter of 1 step or 2 steps. The information here must be sent back to Konoha as soon as possible. It's a pity that although these people have mastered Muji ninjutsu and special ninja swords, they are still not enough in the face of absolute strength. Hatake Sakumo shook his head, as if he had seen the scene of their death. At this moment, Hatake Sakumo's excellent dynamic vision suddenly caught a figure running towards the waves. Hatake Sakumo's eyes widened slightly. A crisp squealing sound reached my ears. Lingwu, Sodi no Shirayuki. Chiang. Zanpakuto was unsheathed, the snow-white blade was extremely dazzling, and a long white pendant hung at the end of the handle. There is only one word that gives Hatake Sakumo the feeling. Beautiful. But he didn't understand what this little girl was doing when she rushed in. From his perspective, it was like a moth flying into a flame. But the next second, he got the answer. Sime Balian. I saw Rukia Kukaki stabbing Sodi no Shirayuki into the sea. Kaka. A cold air rose from the blade, and the sea water near the blade instantly froze and spread rapidly to the surrounding area. Buzz buzz. A few seconds later, a giant ice sculpture of ocean waves stood quietly. Rukia Kukaki drew Sodi no Shirayuki, stepped lightly, and appeared on the top of the ice sculpture the next second. Indifferent eyes glanced at the Mist Ninja and the 7 Ninja Swordsmen. Coupled with Sodi no Shirayuki's hand that exuded icy coldness, every ninja swept by her couldn't help but shudder, and had the illusion that they would be frozen in the next second. When the Fugyuki Sukazan saw his masterpiece frozen into an ice sculpture, he was stunned and said, Ice, ice escape. Chapter 12, Division 13? Are there 13 such opponents? Ice, ice escape. The pufferfish ghost from Zigwa Mountain stared wide-eyed and shouted, could he be a rebellious ninja from the Minajiki clan? Loquat Zhang shook his head and said, no, the ice escape of the Shui Wuyo clan is not that strong. The Watermelon Mountain pufferfish ghost nodded and agreed, that's right. The Mist Ninja troops and the Minajiki clan were a little speechless. I wanted to refute something, but suddenly I found that my own ice escape did not have such expressive power. Loquat Zhang stared at the cold Sodi no Shirayuki in Rukia Kukaki's hand, and whispered, a ninja sword that can release ice escape? Is this reasonable? Others had obviously noticed the beautiful yet bone-chilling knife. Almost at the same time, the 7 ninja swordsmen all involuntarily glanced at the ninja swords in their hands. Are they the 7 ninja swordsmen, or are the people in front of them the 7 ninja swordsmen? The ninja sword that can release ice escape is really a small knife that opens their eyes. On the other side, Hitaki Sakumo also saw this amazing scene. Ninja sword again. Or the ice escape ninja sword. The previous ninja sword that can release wind style and lightning style is also outrageous. But with Black Horega's ninja sword as the foundation, Hitaki Sakumo was not too surprised. But this ice escape sword really shocked him. Blood succession limits are so famous naturally because they are powerful, special, and rare. And before his eyes appeared a ninja sword with its own blood limit. Hitaki Sakumo was surprised and a little worried at the same time. Now that we have the first one, will there be a second ninja sword with blood successor-like abilities? He actually already had the answer in his mind. That means there will definitely be one. After all, the newly emerged forces in the Whirlpool Kingdom had only the Muji ninjutsu that he couldn't understand. These are the ninja swords with special abilities. If there is one, there are 2. And there were 4 of these ninja swords in front of Hitaki Sakumo. As long as they have these ninja swords, the organization of the Whirlpool Kingdom can mass-produce ninjas similar to those with blood inheritance limits. If this kind of force is allowed to take root in the country of Whirlpool, it will not be good news for Konoha. Hitaki Sakumo can only hope that this force does not have so many ninja swords with special abilities. By the way, he touched the white fang on his back, and couldn't help but think, it's the same ninja sword, so why is there a class gap? At the same time, the 7 ninja swordsmen also understood the value of the sword in front of them. It's just that they didn't think about Hitaki Sakumoto, they just stared greedily at Sodi no Shirayuki, wanting to take possession of this ninja sword that can release ice escape. As long as they get this knife, it is equivalent to them having a blood inheritance limit. No one thinks he can be stronger. Now that we have this opportunity in front of us, no one wants to give up. Several people looked at each other, and their eyes showed that they were more concerned about their abilities. On the coast, the surviving Shinigami breathed a sigh of relief. When they saw Rukia Kukaki, they immediately shouted, it's Vice Captain Rukia Kukaki of Division 13. Division 13. Hitaki Sakumo will capture this key message. That is to say, this force has at least 13 divisions? Then there are 13 other characters with the same strength as the girl in front of me? From Hitaki Sakumo's observation, he had already labeled the girl in front of him as having quasi-shadow strength. At least among the elite jonin of Kirigakure's Minajiki clan, he had never encountered anyone who could use ice release so well. Although she does not have chakra, it is difficult to evaluate her strength, but the Minajiki clan is used as a standard. This girl's expressiveness is definitely better than the elite jonin of the Minajiki clan. Therefore, she is evaluated as a quasi-shadow level. Now we know that she is the vice captain of the so-called 13th division. In other words, there are still 12 people with quasi-shadow strength in this organization? Moreover, this requires the 13th division to be the last team before it can be established. 13 accurate shadows. How come I have never heard of a force that possesses such strength? Even the Konoha intelligence department has no record of it. Etc. Hatake Sakumo's eyes suddenly opened when he suddenly remembered something, and he could no longer maintain the calmness on his face. Division 13, Deputy Captain? Hiss. Hatake Sakumo took in a breath of cold air and even wondered if he heard it wrong. Vice Captain? In other words, there is a captain above her? The Vice Captain already has this level of strength, what about the Captain? Oh, it can't be Ying, right? Hatake Sakumo's heart suddenly trembled. Then he quickly shook his head to get rid of this terrifying thought. It shouldn't be possible. If this force had such strength, how could it remain unknown? Are you even still living in a small place like the Kingdom of Whirlpool? After thinking about it, Hatake Sakumo breathed a sigh of relief. Only then did he realize that his back had been soaked with cold sweat for some time. From time to time there is a voice in my heart saying, what if? The Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish Ghost carried same hata on his shoulders and said disdainfully, in other words, there are still 12 people with your strength? Bah! Pretending. Anyone with a discerning eye can see the strength of Rukia Kukaki. Especially the Watermelon Mountain Blowfish Ghost, a caster of the Great Waterfall technique, can better understand the terrifying power of Rukia Kukaki, who freezes her own ninjutsu. As a result, you told him that there are 12 such people, and there are even 13 who are stronger than Rukia Kukaki at the captain level? With such strength in Jiangguo, how could he not have heard of it all this time? So he was sure that these people were bluffing. The Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish Ghost said arrogantly, if you dare, call them all out, and Lao Zi will beat them all. As soon as he finished speaking, 5 figures suddenly appeared next to Rukia Kukaki. It's Vice Captain Matsumoto Rangiku of the 10th Division. There are also Vice Captain Abarai Renji of the 6th Division, Vice Captain Hinamori Momo of the 5th Division, and Vice Captain Kira Izuru of the 3rd Division. Ah, by the way, there is also Vice Captain Omida Marekio of the 2nd Division. Omida Marekio's face darkened. Why did he seem to be just making up for it? The Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish Ghost was stunned for a moment and said in surprise, is there really such a thing? Hatake Sakumo, who was secretly observing, couldn't help but paused when he saw this. Since other vice captains have also appeared, then the captain may also be real. Hatake Sakumo's expression became more solemn. Rukia Kukaki glanced at the configuration of the Mist Ninja and said, each one looks for his opponent and resolves the battle quickly. After saying this, Rukia Kukaki raised the snow-white Sodi no Shirayuki, pointed at the Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish Ghost, and said calmly, leave this fat-headed fish to me. Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish Ghost, fat head fish. Chapter 13, Hanko. The Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish Ghost is furious. Rukia Kukaki seemed not to see his anger, and even made a noble salute and said, in the Kingdom of Whirlpool, the Deputy Captain of the 13th Division of the 13th Guards, Rukia Kukaki, please give me your advice. Hatake Sakumo, who was eavesdropping from a distance, took the information revealed by Rukia Kukaki to heart like a war correspondent. Guard the 13th team. That means there are only 13 teams. But what does guarding mean? And why put the Kingdom of Whirlpool first? What is the relationship between this force and the Kingdom of Whirlpool? Hatake Sakumo was full of questions. The Ziguitian Pufferfish Ghost doesn't care about these prefixes, and there is no so-called aristocratic etiquette. Holding the sword same hata tightly with both hands, he struck hard at Rukia Kukaki. Take Lao Zi's knife first. Boom. A dull voice sounded. Rukia Kukaki used Sodi no Shirayuki to parry the heavy blow from the Watermelon Mountain Blowfish Ghost. Her body sank slightly and her brows furrowed slightly. What a powerful force! Same hata continued to press down, but Rukia Kukaki didn't want to continue playing the power game with him. Compared to swordsmanship, she is best at kid. Heido number 4, White Thunder. Crack! Rukia Kukaki's fingertips burst with lightning, and she discharges her face. The pupils of the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost suddenly shrank. I never expected that Rukia Kukaki would be able to release ninjutsu instantly at such a close distance. The key was the Muin ninjutsu, which gave him no time to react. Surrounded by thunder and lightning, the Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish Ghost's body went numb and he involuntarily retreated backwards. Even the same hata in my hand was almost lost. Fortunately, with his excellent physical fitness, he reacted quickly. After putting some distance between himself and Rukia Kokaki, Zigwashan Puffer Ghost suffered a disadvantage and could not continue to advance. The little girl has no martial ethics. The promised ice escape ninja actually used electricity to attack. Moreover, this kind of ninjutsu, which does not require sealing, has no time to react in close combat. The strategy must be changed. The Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish Ghost's eyes were solemn. Since melee combat is not possible, use long-range attacks. Water-style Water Dragon Bomb Technique. The Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost spits out a water dragon formed by water and rushes towards Rukia Kokaki. Due to the sea battle, his water-style ninjutsu was strengthened by 1 level. The Water Dragon Bomb looks very oppressive. Rukia Kokaki took her time and gracefully drew a circle under her feet with Sodi no Shirayuki. Kaka. The sea surface instantly froze into a circular area. Rukia Kokaki whispered, "First dance Uebai." The next second, the water dragon swooped down. But when he entered the circle drawn by Rukia Kokaki with Sodi no Shirayuki, he was instantly frozen into an ice dragon. The Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish Ghost's eyes widened and he released water style again without believing in evil. Water style Water Formation Pillar. A meteorite-like water ball fell from the sky and hit Rukia Kokaki. But just like the water dragon, as soon as the water ball entered her frozen realm, it instantly turned into an ice ball and fell onto the ice. The Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish Ghost was silent for a moment. Today he finally realized the malice of conflicting attributes. Frustrated. It's so frustrating. What to fight with? That place where ice forms. Hitaki Sakumo noticed a clue. As long as the water style of the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost enters that circular area, it will be directly frozen. It's as if there is a frozen realm. Except for its owner, outsiders will become an ice sculpture. Seeing this magical ice escape, even the Minajiki clan in the Mist Ninja Army had mixed emotions. This form of ice escape is really much better than the Shui Wuyo clan. They can only create ice escape attack ninjutsu and then smash through. They simply can't do this technique of forming a field and freezing all intruders. The only thing that can be used is the magic mirror ice crystal. The other fog ninjas were also in a commotion. What should I do? Mr. Zigwashan seems to be at a disadvantage. Damn it, hasn't the kingdom of Whirlpool been destroyed? How come such a strong man suddenly appears? It's okay, we have other adults from the 7 Ninja Swordsmen, they can definitely deal with the enemy. Hitaki Sakumo was also affected by the Kiri ninja's words and couldn't help but look at the movements of the other vice-captains. I saw the figure of the female vice-captain with long wavy orange hair and a figure comparable to today's Tsunade. Instantly appeared in front of Kushimaru Kurihara. So fast. Kurisha Kushimaru was shocked. But the mask on his face made it impossible to see the expression on his face. Matsumoto Ranjaku smacked his mouth in displeasure and complained, "It's hard to have a leisurely job, but it's been disrupted by you guys. Let's do it quickly. I'm planning to go to an izakaya after get off work." Li Xingguan let out a breathtaking laugh and said in a cold voice, "I'm being underestimated." As soon as he finished speaking, Kurikaru Kushimaru teleported to Matsumoto Ranjaku, swung his sword, and initiated a close-quarters battle. Matsumoto Ranjaku calmly parried and even took the time to yawn. The attacks were blocked one by one, but Kurikashimo was not discouraged at all and continued to attack with his sword tirelessly. But to outsiders, the attack methods of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen seem a bit ordinary compared to the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost. It seems that some of them are not worthy of the famous reputation of the Jonin Swordsman. But Kurikazu Kushimaru didn't pay attention. Instead, his laughter became more and more cruel, as if he had achieved some purpose. Matsumoto Ranjaku said boredly, "After playing with you for so long, these steel wires are your means." Kurisha Kushimaru's pupils widened under his mask, and he was shocked. Seen through. But he quickly suppressed the emotions in his heart and said with a cruel smile, "Oh, you saw through it, but so what, you are already surrounded by me, ha ha ha." As soon as he finished speaking, Kurumi Kushimaru yanked the long knife and needle. A net of steel wires was suddenly exposed to the sun. And in the center of the net, there is the figure of Matsumoto Ranjaku. Under the sunlight, the steel wire shone with an icy cold light, like a devouring lion majesty. Seeing Matsumoto Ranjaku being surrounded, Kurihara Kushimaru smiled proudly. This is the special feature of his long knife and needle. The steel wire hidden on the handle of the knife showed how many enemies he had executed for him. Now, one more person will be added to the death list of his long knife and needle. When the mist ninjas saw this scene, they all shouted, "Kill her! Kill her!" The way Rukia Kokaki easily suppresses the watermelon mountain pufferfish ghost brings great fear to them. Now that they saw Kuriraru Kushimaru suppressing the vice-captain of the same level as Rukia Kokaki, the Kiri ninjas became excited. They couldn't wait to kill Matsumoto Ranjaku to alleviate their inner fear. But Matsumoto Ranjaku didn't panic at all. Even if he was surrounded by countless human-eating wires, he still looked that lazy. He even said casually, "That's it." Li Xingguan clicked his tongue in displeasure. He was so good at pretending that he was about to die. Long sword ninja technique, earth spider seam. As soon as the words fell, the giant steel wire net immediately closed in towards Matsumoto Ranjaku and was stitched together. It seemed that the sharp steel wire was about to cut her into several pieces. At this moment, there was a clang. The zanpakuto around Matsumoto Ranjaku's waist is unsheathed. Croon, Hanko. Chapter 14, Hitaki Sakumo. Who is the Soul King? Croon, Hanko. The blade turned into a plume of smoke, surrounding Matsumoto Ranjaku. She waved the handle of the knife lightly and gave a soft drink. Hanko's house. Zanpakuto turned into ashes instantly, just as the wire was about to fall on Matsumoto Ranjaku. The thick ash formed hard grey walls, isolating the steel wires from outside. The sudden change shocked everyone who paid attention. Smoke escape? Then what? Hitaki Sakumo said that he couldn't understand it. Obviously at first the knife seemed to turn into a puff of smoke, but then it changed appearance again. What is this ability? Hitaki Mashuo naturally couldn't understand. Matsumoto Ranjaku's zanpakuto is a breeze-type zanpakuto. When released, the blade turns into ashes and can even use all the surrounding sand as combat power. Although I can't understand it, it is undeniable that this sword is another ninja sword that is comparable to the blood successor limit. Hitaki Sakumo's guess was right. If there is one, there are two. As expected, this force has more than just a blood succession limited ninja sword similar to ice release. There may even be more. When the mist ninjas saw this scene, they felt as if they had shit in their throats. What was even more uncomfortable was the Kuretsumaru. The layout he had carefully planned for so long was resolved so easily. Just by drawing the sword and using the special ability of the ninja sword, he easily received his fatal blow. Kurihara Kushimaru looked at the long knife and needle that had been with him for many years, and for a moment he felt uneasy. When he kills someone, he has to carefully plan it for a long time, and it is not even noticed by the enemy. The person in front of her could just draw her sword, and the special ability of the ninja sword could help her solve her dilemma. Especially this kind of ability that is beyond the limits of blood inheritance is really eye-catching. Rustle. There was sudden movement on the grey wall, and Kurumi Kushimaru stared at it intently. My heart is full of warnings. The grey wall suddenly banged, and before Kurumi Kushimaru could react, it returned to its fluid state. Matsumoto Ranjaku's voice came from inside. Cat Rondo. As soon as the words fell, the group of greys quickly began to spin as if they had received instructions. Hoo! A grey tornado formed in an instant, and the steel wire that Kurumi Kushimaru had no time to recover was instantly severed when it hit the tornado. Not good. Kurihara Kushimaru didn't have time to feel sorry for the damage to his long knife and needle, and immediately used the body flicker technique to escape from the grey tornado. He lowered his head and glanced at the tattered ninja uniform that was only affected by the impact, and felt a chill in his heart. I couldn't help but exclaimed, what a terrifying cutting power. Seeing that he lost his target, Matsumoto Ranjaku dissipated the tornado and returned to the smoke state. Then he gently swung the knife handle forward. This inexplicable behavior made Kuretari Kushimaru a little confused. At this moment, a roar suddenly sounded behind him. Kurihara Kushimaru turned around suddenly, and a wisp of smoke came behind him at some point. In the next second, it turned into a sword and slashed at him fiercely. Kurihara Kushimaru's pupils were shaking. The sudden attack left him no time to make any escape attempts. I can only watch the smoke falling. The painful scratching on his face foreshadowed the power of the smoke. Laugh. The next second, the cutting force entangled in the smoke completely tore the Kuretari Kushimaru into pieces. Dead, dead. The mist ninjas couldn't help but swallowed when they saw the miserable state of Kuretari Kushimaru. My heart trembled with fear. One of the 7 ninja swordsmen, the user of the long sword and needle, Kushimaru Kurihara, died like this? This is one of the top leaders of their Kirigakure team. Even if ordinary Jainin from other ninja villages saw it, they would have to turn around and run away. But such a powerful person was killed by that woman so easily. What's even more terrifying is that there are 5 other people of the same level as her standing here. For a moment, all the mist ninjas retreated. The other members of the 7 ninja swordsmen were also full of unconfidence. Hatake Sakumo is not as complicated as the Kiri ninjas thought. After all, he is just a spectator this time. I didn't feel anything about Kushimaru Kuririki's death. He even clapped his hands and applauded. You must understand that his mission this time is to harass Kirigakure's actions in the country of Whirlpool. Although there were changes, the mission was completed in disguise. Moreover, Kirigakure's strength was weakening, so he had no intention of thinking about Konoha. This is good news for Konoha. But the bad news is that the kingdom of Whirlpool seems to have been occupied by a mysterious and powerful force. Hatake Sakumo is currently unaware of this force's attitude towards Konoha. But having such a presence behind him is like a time bomb planted in Konoha. He has to worry about whether it will explode suddenly at any time. Now, the best result is to let this mysterious force and Kirigakure contain each other. Hatake Sakumo thinks this plan is very feasible. Although this mysterious force is very powerful, and it sounds like there are stronger characters yet to appear. But as one of the 5 major ninja villages, Kirigakure has countless ninjas, and even with the number of people, a few can be replaced. And if this mysterious force holds the kingdom of Whirlpool, Kirigakure will not be so easy to attack. Let Konoha interfere and maintain the strength of the 2 parties in a balanced state, which is the best result for Konoha. However, this matter still needs to be discussed with Master Hokage before making a decision. Keep this incident and Matsumoto Ranjaku's information in mind, and mark the strength that can easily kill elite jonin. Although in Hatake Sakumo's view, the ninja sword with special abilities accounts for a large part of this strength. After all, even he would suffer a lot if he didn't know the information about Matsumoto Ranjaku. But being able to drive this ability perfectly is also strength. On the other side, facing everyone's gaze, Matsumoto Ranjaku didn't pay attention. Instead, he stretched his body and said relaxedly, "We can finally call it a day." Although she killed the enemy, she had no intention of helping her teammates. Originally, she was not a work-loving character, and she would fish whenever she could. What's more, she didn't feel like they needed her help. Ah, by the way, Lord Soul King seems to have said that he would take this ninja sword back. Suddenly thinking of Lord Soul King's request, Matsumoto Ranjaku hurriedly picked up the long knife and needle that almost sank into the sea with Kurikaru Kushimura's body. Hatake Sakumo's eyes narrowed. Spirit King, who is it? Chapter 15, Hinamori Momo, wanting to be noticed by the Soul King. Who is the Spirit King? Hearing this title, Hatake Sakumo subconsciously raised this question. Then he rubbed his swollen temples involuntarily. He received so much news today that he felt like his brain capacity was not enough. Gotei 13, Muji Ninjutsu, Magical Ninja Sword. Now another Spirit King has arrived. He has been the captain of Anbu for many years, and he has never crammed in so much novel information at once as he did today. The Spirit King sounds like he should be the leader of this group of forces. Did another Spirit King appear before the Vice Captain and Captain? I just don't know whether this Spirit King is a king with no strength like the daimyo but has power, or a strong man with the same strength as Hokage-sama. Hatake Sakumo hoped it was the former. The Vice Captain was already so strong. If the Spirit King was also a strong man, he couldn't even imagine how strong this Spirit King would be. Hands of the Salamander, the demigod of the ninja world? Or the ninja god, first Hokage Senju Hashirama? Hatake Sakumo shook his head, not daring to think about it further. He turned his attention to the battlefield again. The other captains are also about to take action. Omadame Rekiyo, known as the Vice Captain of the 2nd Division, approached the 7 ninja swordsmen and the user of the blunt sword, Kabutorai, Tikusayaito. Hatake Sakumo observed for a while, and then breathed a sigh of relief. It seems that not all vice captains have the strength of Rukia Kukaki. In his opinion, this Omadame Rekiyo is indeed a bit mediocre compared to Rukia Kukaki and Matsumoto Ranjaku. And Zanpakuto doesn't have any special abilities. He seems to be able to transform into a meteor hammer. Besides, this vice captain. How should I put it, it gives Hatake Sakumo a wretched feeling. Unlike other vice captains who take the initiative, Omadame Rekiyo has been hiding and hiding. He even used his gold jewelry from time to time to taunt the wild bait people in Tonko. Just, very personal. Hitaki Sakumo commented in his mind, and then looked decisively at the other vice-captains. Bloom, Fime. Hinamori Momo Shikai Zanpakut, the blade emits a pink aura and carries many plum blossom petals flying. She raised Fime lightly, and a flame burst out, igniting the talisman thrown by the enemy. Boom! Explosions went off at sea. Hinamori Momo stared at the fire explosion not far away and frowned slightly. Although she knew that what the enemy threw was not a good thing, she did not expect that this humble talisman could actually cause an explosion. And it seems that the guy's knife is covered with these explosive talismans. It's a bit tricky. Jinpachi Munashi also felt a little uncomfortable. Although his explosive blade spray is very damaging, it is a double-edged sword for him. If the detonating talisman on the explosive knife detonates near him, he, the user, will also be affected. Normally, he could control the detonation of the explosive sword, but he was afraid of encountering a ninja who was good at fire style. Because the flames will cause his explosive knife to explode uncontrollably. In this case, his chance of injury is greatly increased. And his opponent was indeed a woman with a flaming ninja sword. Once you get close, just release the flames. The blasting knife will explode, and even if the explosion can swallow her, as the user, he will not be much better. Don't get close. For the sake of his own life, Munashi Jinpachi made a decision. Only remotely. Fortunately, his explosive knife technique was developed just for this situation. Munashi Jinpachi threw the blasting sword at Hinamori Momo. Hinamori Momo subconsciously parried, but saw Munashi Jinpachi's proud smile. Burst. Explosive blade Fei Mo flashed red light and let out a huge explosion with a bang. The heat wave hit my face instantly. To see the explosion, Hinamori Momo would be swallowed up. Fime's pink halo flashed crazily, and a hurricane of flames enveloped Hinamori Momo, blocking the high temperature generated during the explosion. But the impact of the explosion still made her feel uncomfortable. After removing the flame hurricane, I saw that the blasting sword had returned to Wulai Jinpachi's hands at some point. This is the subtlety of Muuri Jinpachi's explosive sword technique, which uses the impact of the explosion to accurately control every landing point of the explosive sword and droplets. Then throw the explosive knife out again. The attack had no effect, and Muashi Jinpachi was not discouraged. Just come a few more times. Boom boom boom. Munashi Jinpachi becomes a ruthless bombing machine. Hinamori Momo can only passively defend with Fime's flames. But she could withstand the high temperature generated during the explosion, but she could not withstand the impact of the explosion. Fortunately, what she is best at is not swordsmanship, but kid. After several observations, Hinamori Momo also had an idea in mind. The opportunity lies every time the explosive knife comes back to his hand. Since the talisman on the explosive knife can be detonated, let her make good use of it. After escaping an explosion again, Hinamori Momo began to chant in a low voice. The king. Masks of flesh and blood, everything. Ha! Munashi Jinpachi listened to her chattering, with a look of confusion on his face. The heat and strife are turning southward across the sea, moving forward. Heido's 31 red fire cannon. Munashi Jinpachi was startled and looked around subconsciously. But nothing happened around him. He breathed a sigh of relief, and then snorted, "That's a bluff." The explosive knife returned to his hand again, and he was about to continue throwing. But suddenly I felt a heat wave sweeping over me. Munashi Jinpachi subconsciously widened his eyes, and a crimson fireball suddenly appeared, hitting the blasting knife and splashing accurately. Boom! The explosive knife and droplets were instantly detonated. The next second, the explosion swallowed up Munashi Jinpachi. Hinamori Momo didn't utter a few words until the explosion dissipated, revealing Muashi Jinpachi's blackened corpse. 26 of Bakudo bent light. Bakud no 26 bent light can cover Kid, making Kid invisible to the naked eye. Hinamori Momo used this combination of Kid to hide the form of the red fire cannon. When the explosive sword returned to Muuri Jinpachi's hand, he used the characteristics of the explosive sword to destroy it in one fell swoop. This is an upgrade in IQ. Hinamori Momo smiled gently and said, "So, reading more is still beneficial." He carefully picked up the blasting knife and Fei Mo and presented it to Lord Spirit King when he returned. This should be able to get more attention from Lord Spirit King, right? Hey hey! Another new ninja sword. Hatake Sakumo worked conscientiously as the on-site recorder. Is it the fire type this time? There is also a new Muji ninjutsu, an invisible flame? Hatake Sakumo doesn't know much about Kid, so he doesn't know that this is actually a combination of two different Kid. But this time the Muji ninjutsu was different from the others. When she released it, she seemed to be chanting something in a low voice. Call. After writing down this information, Hatake Sakumo became a little numb. A variety of special and powerful ninja swords. Is it possible that this force has mastered the technology to forge ninjutsu or blood succession limits into the ninja sword? Chapter 16, White Fang, Hey? Is this reasonable? Hey! Boy, is that hair of yours from the Uzumaki clan? Reiga Kurosaki looked at Abarai Renji in front of him, and the bright red hair color made him a little concerned. Not only him, but also Hatake Sakumo also cares about it. Could it be the surviving Uzumaki clan? But why did you join this mysterious force? What is the relationship between this force and the Uzumaki clan? Abarai Renji didn't mean to answer him, but had a determined expression. Stop talking nonsense. Anyone who dares to invade the kingdom of Whirlpool will be devoured by my Zabimaru. Roar, Zabimaru. With Abarai Renji's words of liberation, the Zanpakuto in his hand also changed dramatically. An ordinary tachi instantly transforms into a double-edged snake belly sword. It has 6 sections and 7 blades. The half of the blade from the back to the middle of the blade is black, and the rest of the blade is silver-white. There are many protrusions on the blade. Hey, how arrogant! Reiga Kurosaki holds 2 swords, Thunder Fang. Crack! Serpentine lightning runs on the double swords. Thunder Blade Technique Lightning. Buzz! 2 large beams of lightning spread quickly from the sea, and 2 thunder walls were erected, surrounding Abarai Renji. Reiga Kurosaki grinned, and the 2 rows of fangs looked very terrifying. Boy, you have only one ending today, and that is to die here. Lightning Style Thunderball. The ball lightning condensed at the tip of the Thunder Fang was instantly released by the Black Ho Thunder Fang, running towards Abarai Renji. Abarai Renji waved Zabimaru, and under the surprised eyes of Reiga Kurosaki, Zabimaru became soft and stretched like a whip. But when Zabimaru's blade knocked the thunder ball away, he showed his considerable power. Interesting. Reiga Kurosaki suddenly smiled and said, how interesting. I didn't expect that there would be something more special in the ninja world than the ninja swords of our 7 ninja swordsmen. Today was such an eye-opener. But my Thunder Fang is not comparable to any other sword. Abarai Renji was not interested in listening to his nonsense. Zabimaru danced again, twisting his body like a snake and biting towards the Black Ho Thunder Fangs. Lightning Style Thunder Fang. Kaiga Kurosaki crossed his 2 swords to store electricity. When Zabimaru was about to hit him, he suddenly spread them out, and the terrifying thunder and lightning hit Zabimaru all at once. Boom! The huge electric energy knocked Zabimaru upside down, causing Abarai Renji to frown slightly. Just when he was about to take back Zabimaru, he saw Reiga Kurosaki suddenly smile, and the thunder and lightning on the double sword Thunder Fang became more intense. Even the sky suddenly became dark. Crack! Terrifying bolts of lightning struck the twin swords and Thunder Fangs. The terrifying power instantly attracted everyone's attention. It's Lord Reiga. Okay, what a terrifying lightning style. This is our Reiga-sama of Kirigakure. Biwajozo, who was confronting Kira Izuru, paid attention to the status of Black Ho Reiga from the corner of his eye. With this posture, is that guy Reiga going to use that move so soon? After losing 2 of the 7 ninja swordsmen one after another, Loquat-Jozo's always heavy expression finally relaxed. As long as the ninjutsu of Reiga is successfully released, the person fighting Reiga will definitely die. In this way, they will have a much easier time in the next battle. Kira Izuru seemed to see through his thoughts and chuckled, hey, don't underestimate our vice-captain. Biwajozo's eyes narrowed, and seeing Kira Izuru so relaxed, he couldn't help but feel worried. Could it be that the vice-captain, whose ninja sword is like a whip, has other hidden abilities? Hatake Sakumo quietly observed the status of Black Ho Reiga. This kind of momentum has probably reached S-level ninjutsu. If you take a blow from the front, I'm afraid you'll be seriously injured even if you don't die. However, Hatake Mozako did not see a trace of fear or panic on Abarai Renji's face. Even Matsumoto Ranjaku and Hinamori Momo, who had already defeated the enemy, had no intention of supporting them. Why? Lightning Style Thunder Dragon Scroll. Reiga Kurosaki looked ferocious and roared angrily. Holding a thunder tooth filled with thunder and lightning, he quickly rotated it. Ho-ho! A giant light purple thunder and lightning dragon quickly formed. The terrifying power swept the sea into it. The Brontosaurus opened its scarlet eyes and stared at Abarai Renji, as if confirming the target. Roar! The next second, the Brontosaurus roared like thunder and swooped down towards Abarai Renji. The Black Ho Thunder Fang Chakra was exhausted, and he knelt on one knee on the sea, panting heavily, staring at Abarai Renji with burning eyes, wanting to see his frightened expression. Unfortunately, Abarai Renji did not live up to his expectations. Even when facing the thunder dragon that covered the sky with thunder and lightning, Abarai Renji still had the same calm expression. Black Holeya was very unhappy and shouted, "Strangulate his thunder dragon!" Just as the Brontosaurus was about to devour him, Abarai Renji finally moved. Bankai, Zabimaru the Baboon King. It's useless, ha 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 ha. Black Ho Thunder Fang let out a crazy laugh. Buzz. Zabimaru suddenly flashed with white light, and Zanpakuto was liberated for the second time. Boom! A behemoth, more oppressive than the thunder dragon in the sky, appeared out of thin air. The situation reversed instantly. The big snake skeleton of the Baboon King Zabimaru opened its huge mouth and bit straight into the Brontosaurus. Crack! Crack! With each bite, the thunder and lightning on the thunder dragon burst out, hitting the huge body of the Baboon King Zabimaru. But Zabimaru, the King Baboon, felt no pain at all and just kept biting and biting. The thunder dragon's thunder seemed to have become a cry at this moment, telling its pain. It wasn't until the last bit of the thunder dragon's body was swallowed up that the Baboon King Zabimaru stopped. This shocking scene stunned everyone present. Thunder Ya's ninjutsu was eaten. Hitaki Sakumo couldn't believe it. Even if he encountered Lei Ya's move, he would have no choice but to run away. That's why he firmly believed that the ninjutsu of Thunder Fang would be able to kill the red-haired man. But he never imagined that the red-haired man not only survived, but actually defeated the Brontosaurus in such a shocking way. What on earth is this big snake skeleton? At this moment, Hitaki Sakumo already had the intention to retreat. Can't beat it at all. Hitaki Sakumo was even more frightened and couldn't help but swear in his heart. Horse riding. Even if this ninja sword can set fire and freeze, how can it turn into a giant beast? Ah! Is this reasonable? Chapter 17, Biwajozo, the wind is blowing hard. Impossible. How is it possible? How is it possible that my Thunder Dragon scroll is just gone? Black Holeya knelt on the sea, a little lost. Abarai Renji didn't give him time to feel sad. He waved the handle of the knife, and the Baboon King Zabimaru instantly moved. The yellow eyes stared straight at the Black Ho Thunder Fang, and he opened his mouth to devour the Black Ho Thunder Fang. Seeing this, Lo Kuat Zhang yelled, "Thunder Fang!" Black Holeya suddenly woke up. Looking at the huge mouth so close, his pupils shrank suddenly. Quickly combine the two swords to summon thunder and lightning to possess you. Ninjutsu, Thunder Armor. Boom! The snake's head hit Black Holeya's body, and the terrifying inertia took him to slide quickly on the sea surface. Fortunately, with the presence of the Thunder Armor, Black Ho Thunder Fang was not seriously injured. Just when he breathed a sigh of relief, Abarai Renji said, "Baboon Bone Cannon." A large amount of spiritual power gathered in the huge mouth of the giant Baboon King Zabimaru snake skeleton, and a terrifying red energy body was shot out like a cannon. Black Holeya's eyes widened, and his vision was instantly filled with red. The thunder armor shattered in an instant, and the whole person was swallowed up by the Baboon Bone Cannon. After a few seconds, the Baboon Bone Cannon gradually dissipated, and Black Ho Thunder Fang disappeared. Only a pair of double knives fell from midair and fell into the sea. Abarai Renji Shunpo dodged and picked up the twin swords Thunder Fang. Thunder Ye disappeared. Not even a body was left behind. Lo Kuat Zhang took a deep breath and felt that life is really unpredictable. The 7 ninja swordsmen, who are unparalleled in Kirigakuer, can only kill 3 due to one mission. Isn't this a mission to establish a stronghold in the Kingdom of Whirlpool? Isn't it a side mission to clear out the enemies of the Whirlpool country? How come? Is the group about to be destroyed? I guess even Mizukage-sama didn't think of it. The 7 dignified ninja swordsmen actually stumbled upon the already destroyed Kingdom of Whirlpool. I'm afraid Kirigakuer still doesn't know what a terrifying organization has appeared in the land of Whirlpool. Lo Kuat Zhang was silent for a while, then suddenly shouted, "Retreat!" Hearing these 2 words, almost all the mist ninja breathed a sigh of relief, and then ran madly in the direction they came from. This whirlpool country is so scary. If they hadn't escaped without permission, they would be punished by the Invigilator, and they might even be labeled as traitors. They would have wanted to run away a long time ago. Even the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost, who was still in a stalemate with Rukia Kokaki, was obviously relieved. Then he pretended to be ferocious and took out the moves at the bottom of the box. Same Hada combined. The sword Same Hada squirmed crazily on the body of the Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish Ghost and became a part of the Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish Ghost. The Watermelon Mountain Blowfish Ghost in the form of a fishman immediately made Rukia Kokaki's eyes widen. Have you really turned into a fat-headed fish? Zigwishan Pufferfish grimaced, gritted his teeth and said, Water-style Lianji Dan technique. Rukia Kokaki subconsciously used Sodi no Shirayuki to defend herself, but found that the sea was still calm. Ran. Rukia Kokaki subconsciously wanted to chase, but was stopped by Matsumoto Ranjaku. In his fishman form, he can run faster than a fish in the sea. You can't catch him. But Rukia Kokaki was a little unwilling. Everyone had ninja swords in their hands that could be dedicated to the Soul King, but she was the only one with nothing. Matsumoto Ranjaku said lazily, well, unless you can freeze the entire sea, don't even think about catching up with that fat-headed fish. Rukia Kokaki suddenly said excitedly, I understand. It's because I haven't mastered cultivation yet. If I could Bankai now, this situation wouldn't happen. Thank you, Vice Captain Matsumoto, I'm going to practice now. Rukia Kokaki bowed and went to practice. Matsumoto Ranjaku looked at Hinamori Momo and wondered, what's wrong with her? Hinamori Momo shook his head, saying that he didn't know, and then stared at Matsumoto Ranjaku's pride, and finally looked at his own. Big cow. The Mist Ninja wanted to retreat, but the country of Whirlpool would naturally not agree. You can come when you want and leave when you want. How can it be so easy? Xi Guan led his team members to chase the other Mist Ninjas. Kira Izuru stopped in front of Lo Kuat Zhozang and said with a smile, we're just leaving, why don't we stay and have a meal together? Lo Kuat Zhozo's face was expressionless. He had no time to listen to Kira Izuru's jokes now. A powerful swing of the beheading sword. Boom. Kira Izuru parried easily, then smiled and said, look up, Wabisuk. Buzz. Lo Kuat Zhozang's hands holding the beheading sword suddenly sank. What's the situation? Why did the beheading sword become heavier? Lo Kuat Zhozang was shocked, and then quickly retreated. But Kira Izuru obviously had no intention of giving him a chance to breathe, and followed with another slash. Lo Kuat Zhozang had no choice but to continue to use the beheading sword to resist. Boom. But then Kira Izuru suddenly raised Wabisuk and struck the decapitating sword again. After being struck by the slash, Lo Kuat Zhozang's expression suddenly changed. So heavy. Heavier again. Could it be said that this is his sword-bearing ability? Boom. 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 Another 3 sword strikes, this time Lo Kuat Zhozo's feelings became clearer. Because this time the beheading sword is 8 times heavier than before. Lo Kuat Zhozang's expression keeps changing. If he cuts it like this, he might not even be able to hold down the decapitating sword. What to do? In fact, Lo Kuat Zhozang already had the answer in his heart. Abandon the knife. Without any hesitation, Lo Kuat Zhozo dropped his beheading sword and turned around and ran away. Kira Izuru was stunned for such an uncharacteristic move. When he wanted to chase him again, he suddenly lost interest. After disabling Wabisuk's ability, Kira Izuru picked up the decapitating sword and sighed, as a swordsman, how can I throw away my own sword? If Lo Kuat Zhozang heard what he said, he would probably tell him that he was not a swordsman, but just a despicable ninja. On the contrary, Hitaki Sakumo, who has witnessed everything, understands what Lo Kuat Zhozo did. Knowing that he is outmatched, continuing to fight is nothing more than a useless sacrifice. As a captain, you must think about the lives of your teammates. Seeing that the battle in the country of Whirlpool gradually subsided, Hitaki Sakumo, who had obtained a lot of information, was also preparing to return to Konoha with a heavy heart. Reported the information here to Lord Hokage. Oh, after watching secretly for so long, this gentleman is finally ready to go back. Hitaki Sakumo's heart skipped a beat. Muscles tighten instantly. Chapter 18, Swifon, Lord Soul King, I have been sent away safely. When Hatake Sakumo was really shocked. He didn't even notice when the person behind him appeared. Although he was shocked, he did not move slowly. He backed away very quickly, and then observed the woman who quietly appeared behind him. His hair is styled in a chignon with side bangs lifted on both sides. He is petite and wears the same clothes as the mysterious power that suddenly appeared in the Whirlpool Kingdom. The difference is that the woman in front of her has an extra white feather compared to the vice-captains. Through this, Hatake Sakumo judged the difference in the identity of this person. Although the mysterious power of the Whirlpool land appeared very suddenly, Hatake Sakumo could see from his long-term observation that all the vice-captains wore similar black clothes. This power has its own rules. Could that woman be the legendary captain? Hatake Sakumo could only guess. It is definitely not easy for someone to appear behind him without him noticing. If you infiltrate the intelligence of the Whirlpool Kingdom, I, the Supreme Commander of the Secret Movement Force and Commander of the Criminal Corps, cannot pretend not to see it. Swiafon's face was cold and his eyes indifferent. The few words that came out of his mouth put a lot of pressure on Hatake Sakumo. He really is a great person. Hatake Sakumo secretly thought, his body tensed, ready to escape at any moment. It wasn't that he was afraid of dying, but his first priority was to send the information about the Whirlpool land back to Konoha. So it's useless to hang around here. Hatake Sakumo used his peripheral vision to observe his surroundings and plan the best escape route. He was still very confident in his own strength. Even though he might not be able to defeat the woman in front of him, there was no way he could be stopped if he wanted to escape. Hatake Sakumo's small thoughts were clearly visible to Swiafon. Swiafon raised her face slightly and sneered, "You want to escape?" Hatake Sakumo's heart raced and he unconsciously used the body flicker technique to escape. However, as soon as his body moved, it was suddenly pushed back by an enormous force. Hatake Sakumo's pupils shrank sharply and his body suddenly froze. "I can't escape." As he felt the enormous force coming from his shoulders, Hatake Sakumo's sweat poured down his back. When exactly was that? Out of the corner of his eye, Swiafon appeared beside him at an unknown moment. Just as he was about to move, that guy actually pinched his shoulder. Such speed! How could a human do that? Swiafon calmly said, "Wherever you want to go, I'll take you with me." Hatake Sakumo's hair stood on end, and he pulled out the white fang on his back and slashed at Swiafon. But immediately, Hatake Sakumo froze. Shadow! At that moment, Swiafon's voice came from behind him again. "Where are you cutting?" Hatake Sakumo turned sharply, and what came at him was a split kick from above. Boom! He reacted quickly and pushed White Fang in front of him, but Swafob's strength made his feet suddenly sink, and the ground under his feet suddenly cracked. Good weight! Hatake Sakumo couldn't believe that his seemingly tiny body could explode with such a powerful force. With that kind of power, even Tsunade's strange power was not far behind. It should be like this, right? Swiafon suddenly said something incomprehensible. Before Hatake could think about it, a terrifying aura pressed down on him and made him unable to move. Bum! What is this? Hatake Sakumo clenched his teeth, and the immense pressure on his body made him feel like his bones would shatter in the next second. Several white air currents surrounded Swiafon. His eyelids drooped, as if a higher god was looking down on the ants on the ground. In a state of instant persuasion, White Fang's legs suddenly exerted power. Kaka! The White Fang was instantly filled with cracks and then collapsed. Hatake Sakumo's eyes widened in disbelief. In the next instant, he felt a terrifying pressure rushing towards him. This force exploded, instantly destroying the forest around him. Hatake Sakumo was like a kite whose string was cut, carried into the sky by this force. The environment in his eyes changed rapidly, and he immediately disappeared above the whirlpool. Seeing this, Swiafon pulled his right leg that was still kicking forward, immediately releasing the seductive state. He had tried his best to control his power, hoping that he wouldn't die. Bum! The border between the Whirlpool Kingdom and the Fire Kingdom. Hatake Sakumo fell from the sky and hit the ground, making a dent. Ahem! At that moment, Hatake Sakumo looked extremely embarrassed and vomited blood madly. All I could feel was that all my internal organs were throbbing, and my body was in extreme pain. Even breathing became extremely difficult, and I couldn't move even if I wanted to. He remembered that before he was kicked away, he accidentally saw the two behind the woman, and he couldn't help but smile bitterly in his heart. Is this the power of the 2nd Division captain? She wasn't even using a ninja sword. If the 13 divisions all had that kind of power, it would really make people unable to resist. But what Hotaki Sakumo didn't know was that Swifon's Zanpakuto Chikai was completely useless to him. The condition of the second kill meant that he never had a chance to use Zanpakuto. After all, those who could be killed by him did not need a second strike, and those who could not be killed by him could not make a second strike. In a state of instant persuasion, he is already in his strongest form. Captain Hotaki. It really is Captain Hotaki. Captain Anbu, who had been sent by Hotaki Sakumo to the border of Whirlpool Land, heard the voice and came to investigate. Unexpectedly, Captain Anbu was lying in a hole covered in blood. They looked so embarrassed that they didn't even dare to recognize each other. After all, Hotaki Sakumo is Konoha's ninja genius. He rose to the position of Anbu captain at the age of 20. Even the 3 disciples of the third Hokage master were overshadowed by him. But it just so happened that such an outstanding and talented person seemed to have been hit by a terrible attack and seemed to be dying. How could they not be surprised? Who was it? To be able to hurt Captain Hotaki like that? Ahem. First get me out of here. Hotaki Sakumo saw his subordinates frozen in place and had to use the last of his strength to remind them. Hey? Oh. That's when Anbu's team members reacted. The land of the vortex, Rukanga. After Uzumaki Chihiro noticed Swifon's appearance, she asked, "Were you delivered safely?" "Yes, Lord Soul King." Swifon hesitated for a moment. She deliberately kicked in the direction where the male companion was. "It should be safe enough, right?" Chapter 19, The reputation value skyrockets and the world-crossing gate is unlocked. When Hotaki Sakumo entered the Whirlpool Kingdom, Swifon had found him. The appearance of Hotaki Sakumo did not surprise Uzumaki Chihiro. There was a big movement in Kirigakure, how could Konoha not send someone? But Uzumaki Chihiro did not let Swifon kill him. Instead, he felt comfortable becoming a war reporter and recording all the information about the battles one by one. Uzumaki Chihiro even kindly asked Swifon to take her with him, fearing that the situation here would not be reported back to Konoha. Let him give Konoha a little surprise and boost his reputation. After this battle, Uzumaki Chihiro almost escaped poverty and became filthy rich. Uzumaki Chihiro opened the control panel. Host, Uzumaki Chihiro. Identity, Daimyo of Whirlpool Land, Uzumaki Clan. Power, Shadow. Area of effect, Whirlpool Kingdom. Chakra, 101 cards. Ryutsu, Vice Captain level. Abilities, Chakra Refining Technique, Sealing Technique, Grandmaster, Kendo, Medium, White Hit, Higher, Kid, Higher, Shunpo, Grandmaster. Hero Weapons, Ichimaru Jin, Swifon. Elite Units, Rukia Kukaki, Matsumoto Ranjaku, Hinamori Momo, Abarai Renji, Kira Izuru, Omadame Rekio. Advanced Weapons, Togakushi Riku, Gori Teiketsuna. Common Weapons, 214. Troop Card Pool unlocked, Shinigami Series. Building unlocked, Rukanga. Reputation, 127,765. Reputation has once again surpassed the 100,000 mark and continues to skyrocket. Uzumaki Chihiro has not spent these reputation points yet. The news of the defeat of the 7 ninja swordsmen in the Whirlpool Kingdom has not yet spread. When the Fog Ninjas return to Kirigakure, their reputation will skyrocket again, as will that of Hotaki Sakumo. Uzumaki Chihiro decided to wait for the matter to ferment before consuming all the reputation points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the second phase of the main mission and unlocking the border crossing gate building. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the mission, Miss Shinobi is coming, and the Seireitei building has been unlocked. By the way, there is one more mission. After being reminded by the system, Uzumaki Chihiro remembered that the second main mission had been completed. As for Miss Shinobi attack, it is a mission that is triggered when the Miss Shinobi is about to land in the land of Whirlpool. Uzumaki Chihiro opened the map of the land of Whirlpool provided by the system, and there were 2 more ghosts waiting to be placed on the map. Uzumaki Chihiro first placed the Seireitei in the center of the Uzumaki land, connecting the Rukanga on the outside. But the 2 were separated by the huge walls of Seireitei. The walls are made of murderous stone that isolates spiritual power. Rukanga's soul cannot pass through the wall and enter the Seireitei. Seireitei does not have special effects like Rukanga, but it does have some basic buildings. For example, the headquarters of Gotei 13, each team building of Division 13, the Technology Development Bureau, etc. The area has a beautiful environment and is home to Shinigami and some nobles. However, important buildings such as the Academy of Spiritual Arts are not available. Uzumaki Chihiro speculates that such important buildings might have to be unlocked separately. Next, Uzumaki Chihiro placed the border gate in Seireitei. World Crossing Gate, set the coordinates, enter the gate, and go to any place in the ninja world. This effect made Uzumaki Chihiro's eyes light up. Originally, the world traveling door was the door that connected the Soul Society to the real world. Unexpectedly, the system changed it into a space gate. This is a good point. In the future, if any ninja village makes him unhappy, just open the door and let Shinigami go. Come with a blitzkrieg and catch them off guard. As for the coordinates, they are on the map provided by the system. Just follow the coordinates on the map to determine where you want to go. Place the Seireitei and the border crossing gate. At this time, the Whirlpool Kingdom was already very different from before. What was once a shabby ruin has now been transformed into a metropolis of bustling buildings. Uzumaki Chihiro no longer has to live in Rukanga. But before he leaves Rukanga, he still has something to do. In today's ninja world, there is constant friction between the major ninja villages. People are dying every day, and combined with the characteristics of Rukanga, there are already more souls in Rukanga. And just now, there was a war in the Whirlpool Kingdom. Many dead mist ninjas were absorbed by Rukanga. Uzumaki Chihiro discovered that the souls of these ninjas were of higher quality than those of civilians. In addition, the greater the strength in life, the more spirit children there are, and it has the qualifications to become a Shinigami. It seems that the strength in life has a great influence on the soul after death. Uzumaki Chihiro thought. Hey? That means... At that moment, Uzumaki Chihiro suddenly saw a familiar face. He has long green hair, thick eyebrows, sharp teeth, his upper body is wrapped in a bandage and he is wearing a black vest. What a coincidence, isn't that Reiga Kurosaki? Ding! Congratulations to the host for discovering a high-grade soul. Do you want to check the soul information? Uzumaki Chihiro was surprised. You still have that function? Check it out. Reiga Kurosaki. Potential, Vice Captain level. Life Force, Elite Jonin. Suggestion, recruit Spiritual Arts Academy and become a Shinigami. Vice Captain level potential. What a surprise. A trick. Must be recruited. However, this Reiga Kurosaki is also quite unlucky. He was killed by the Whirlpool Kingdom while he was still alive, and he wanted to contribute to the Whirlpool Kingdom after his death. Of course, this is not his chance. Becoming a Shinigami means that he has become a transcendent species. After all, Shinigami is a species of immortality. Once the characteristics of Shinigami become widespread, I am afraid that there will be countless people who want to become Shinigami. Unfortunately, not everyone has the qualifications to become a Shinigami. Uzumaki Chihiro called Rukia Kukiki and asked her to take down the Black Ho Thunder Fang, as well as others with low potential but with opportunities. Just wait until you unlock the Spiritual Arts Academy and absorb them. At the same time, during the recording process, Uzumaki Chihiro also discovered another 7 Ninja Swordsmen. Munashi Jinpachi. Potential, Vice Captain level. Life Force, Elite Jonin. Suggestion, recruit Spiritual Arts Academy and become a Shinigami. Okay, another Vice Captain level. Could it be that if his strength reached Elite Jonin during his lifetime, he would have the potential to become a Vice Captain? Uzumaki Chihiro thought. Unfortunately, there were too few clues and he couldn't be 100% sure. Uzumaki Chihiro walked around Rukanga again and did not see the other 2 7 Ninja Swordsmen. It seems that he was not absorbed by Rukanga. After all, Rukanga only has a 50% chance. He was not disappointed either. He told Rukia Kukiki to take care of things and then went to Seireitei to choose a house. On the other side, the few remaining Kirigakure who had escaped from the land of Whirlpool also returned to Kirigakure. Biwajozo and Fugyuki Sukazan were utterly embarrassed and knocked on the door of Mizuki's office with somber expressions. Chapter 20, Biwajozo, is there a gap for me to dig through? The land of water, Kirigakure. Mizuki's office. The third Mizukage finally opened his eyes that had been slightly closed all year and said in disbelief, "Are you telling the truth?" Of course, he can also understand in his heart that as a member of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen, With Biwajozo and Fugyuki Sukazan standing in front of him, and the other four nowhere to be seen, this matter had been confirmed to be true. But subconsciously, he didn't want to believe it, and he couldn't believe it anymore. These are the 7 ninja swordsmen. Even with one missing, there are still 6 elite Genin. After all, it was just a mission to the already destroyed kingdom of Whirlpool, and the entire army was almost destroyed? If the place they were going to was called Konoha, that would be excusable. But this was the kingdom of Uzumaki, the kingdom of Uzumaki that no longer had the Uzumaki clan. But the facts in front of him forced him to admit that the land of Whirlpool might have changed. He took a deep breath. Such a great loss made his head hurt. The land of Whirlpool, Gotei 13. Who is this organization? What is its purpose? What is its connection to the kingdom of Whirlpool? A magical ninja sword, a ninjutsu that doesn't require a seal, and a powerful vice-captain. Even the captain-level characters who don't know that the kingdom of Whirlpool exists didn't even show up. Third Mizukage asked his secretary to write down the information that Biwajozo and others brought back on a scroll. Then he asked Anbu to notify all the senior executives to come to the office for a meeting. When everyone had arrived, Third Mizukage handed out the information scrolls and said blankly, "Let's all take a look." The other executives looked at the scroll with inexplicable results, and then their expressions became more solemn. Some even exclaimed, "The 7 ninja swordsmen were almost wiped out? The enemy still has no casualties." Hearing these words, the faces of Biwajozo and Fugyuki Sukazan turned slightly dark. But this is really their incompetence. Forget it, if you can't beat them, you can't even beat them one-on-one. After everyone saw it, the anger in the office became more and more suppressed. At the same time, a doubt arose. Could an unknown organization be so powerful? And these so-called ninja swords? Besides Kirigakure, is there anyone in the ninja world who knows the ninja sword better than they do? Subconsciously, they don't want to believe it, but the person who suffered the incident is right in front of them. You have to believe it even if you don't want to. Third Mizukage glanced at the officials present and said, "The land of Whirlpool was originally the strategic fortress built by our Kirigakure, but now a mysterious power has appeared. And this mysterious power is very powerful. Just by sending the deputy captain, the 7 ninja swordsmen are no match at all in a one-on-one situation." Speaking of which, Biwajozo and Fugyuki Sukazan lowered their heads even further, feeling as if they were sitting on pins and needles. Third Mizukage paused and continued, "In addition, the 6 ninja swords of Kirigakure have also been confiscated. Please tell me what to do." 6? Wasn't it supposed to be 5? Unconsciously, everyone looked at Biwajozo and Fugyuki Sukazan. When I saw the empty back of Biwajozo, I was suddenly enlightened. Even though Biwajozo continues to insist on the aloof and cold persona, he can't wait to find a crack to sneak in. The Fugyuki Sukazan on the side straightened up slightly. Seeing this, the others followed the third Mizukage's words as if nothing had happened. When the Whirlpool Kingdom is gone, it is gone. After all, there was no place like the Whirlpool Kingdom in the Water Kingdom before. It's just that this time I saw an opportunity to radiate inland, and I wanted to try it. If you fail, forget it. Anyway, this is the way the Water Kingdom has always been. On the contrary, the 6 ninja swords are more important. After all, they are the foundation of Kirigakure's high-end fighting power. Without the ninja sword, it would not be as easy as before to train ninjas like the 7 ninja swordsmen. At that time, Kirigakure's strength will drop another notch. Originally, it was at the bottom of the 5 great countries. If it is downgraded to another level, don't throw away the ninja sword. However, the forces in the Whirlpool Kingdom are indeed very troublesome. Just by looking at the description in the intelligence, you can feel how powerful they are. Gotei 13. The 13th Division, with only 6 vice-captains on the field, killed the 7 ninja swordsmen, leaving them without armor. 4 died and 2 escaped. The 2 who escaped were still the vice-captains and had no intention of pursuing them. To put it simply, his life was spared. For a while, all the senior officials were a little worried. The vice-captains are all like that. Doesn't every captain have cage-level strength? Crazy, when did the ninja world have so many powerful people? Of course, I think so. But they don't really believe that there are 13 shadows in this organization. Even Mizukage is like that. After all, even the strongest Konoha, a ninja village, does not have so many characters of the cage level. The third Mizukage knocked on the table and reminded, "If you have something to say, just say it. Don't hold it back. The leader of the Terumi clan was the first to speak. At present, our information about them is still insufficient. Before we know if the so-called captain of the 13th Division exists, I suggest that we use diplomatic means to retrieve the ninja sword. The third Mizukage didn't shake his head or nod, wanting to hear the thoughts of others. The leader of the Kagaya clan suddenly stood up. What the hell, Gotei 13, I propose that we immediately send all the forces of Kirigakure to attack the land of Whirlpool. This reckless man. Everyone mourned in their hearts. Third Mizukage was also a little speechless. Although he believes that as long as Kirigakure comes out in full force, he can indeed bring down this organization. After all, the ninja village has a huge ninja base there. Even with the number of people, one person can kill the shadow with a sea-level ninjutsu. But how could a ninja village be destroyed? Even though the Water Kingdom is surrounded by the sea, other ninja villages have little interest in them. But as long as all their mist shinobi troops are mobilized, they can see if others can steal from their home. Mizukage did not accept his proposal, and the discussion in the office grew louder and louder. But until the sun went down, no suitable plan was discussed. On the contrary, the suggestion of the Terumi clan chief is the most appropriate at the moment. However, Mizukage did not accept it on the spot, but asked them to go back and think about it carefully. What if there is a better solution? When Mizukage's office fell silent again, Mizukage was the only one left. He stood at the window, staring calmly at the setting sun and opened his slightly closed eyes. A bright red flashed in his eyes. I think I heard something interesting. At the same time, Hitaki Sakumo also returned to Konoha under the protection of the Anbu.
Thanks for listening.